Are we putting the topics? Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. Breakroom podcast finally got us all back together. It's been a while since we were all in the studio, but Chris and Vin actually just went to Raw, and they got to see that live. So
Monday Night Raw.
Tell us how that experience was.
You want to start?
I mean, it was my first.
Yeah,
So I
broke
guess
your
I'll kick
cherry
it
at
off,
Madison
yeah.
Square Garden.
Yeah, everybody-
Let me add the pretext, and then you can kind of start.
Do it.
For the pretext, we've been talking a lot about wrestling lately. We've gotten our friends into it more, which is fun. So our boy Mike, friend of the show, was trying to convince
Friend of
us
mine,
to
friend
get
of ours. You know,
Friend of Yao's.
Friend of
friend
ours.
of ours from what do they call the guy from Pennsylvania or whatever?
Friend of mine, friend of ours,
Friend
made
of
guy,
ours.
friend of
Friend of
us,
ours.
friend of us.
I don't know. You didn't watch fucking Donnie Brasco, so you don't
Yeah.
really know
From
what you
Sopranos
mean.
when he's
The
talking-
difference between the
Well,
friend
Vin
of
got the
ours and
pun.
a friend of yours
Friend
and
of
a friend of
yours,
mine, and we could talk about it though. You'll
You know,
see
it's a
about it.
sin how he still never watched Johnny
One day,
Brasco.
you know.
Going down the rabbit hole already. I still haven't watched Donnie Brasco.
You fucked
Joe
up.
lent me the DVD like 5 years ago.
2017.
I was his first friend at work, and he lent me Donnie Brasco immediately.
What a guy, what a guy.
I told him, I was like,
I'm not gonna watch
Yeah,
it.
I'm not gonna watch this ever.
You didn't
So
insist.
it's like somebody tells you, like, you should really watch the show, and then it's just, there's this piece of shit inside of all of us where we're just like,
Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
You know?
A piece of shit like Shawn Michaels, right?
Yeah.
Damn, 4 minutes. Holy shit.
Hey, I've been gone
That's a
for 3
record.
weeks. I gotta get
I
my
know,
shots
I
in,
know.
motherfucker.
Chris has had a free
God
reign.
damn it, I'm in my Bret regalia for this. You think I didn't fucking come out swinging today?
But no, Monday Night Raw.
So, yeah, our friend Mike was trying to convince us all to get tickets. And I
God.
was trying to explain that in Madison Square Garden, there's no bad seats. You can get nosebleeds. Really good seats. I got
I'm too
nosebleeds
fat for the
before.
seat, so I ain't going MSG.
Oh, stop.
I'm telling you.
We went there. So before we got there, I wasn't gonna go. The ticket price went from like $99 to
Yeah.
4 payments of fucking
Yeah.
$99.99 something.
Yeah.
Adjustable rate mortgage payments.
Mortgage,
It's not good.
Balloon interest
No.
payment. So I bowed out. I was like, I can't go. And they were gonna go, and then my boy Adam somehow procured free tickets, and they were the best seats that I'll probably ever have at any live event. Like, you could see their faces.
Yeah, they had great seats.
They were
I mean, I sat front row for
It was
WrestleMania
like
20.
From
Jesus,
the front,
awesome.
It was probably about,
They were about
7 rows in front of me.
Yeah, they were in the corner.
There was one really fucking tall guy that was sitting in front of me, which kind of sucked.
Piece of
because I
shit.
had to, like, fucking,
That's
But,
what they were saying. When you're sitting on the floor, that's kind of the downside.
Yeah,
is it's a
you have-
flat
you're not
seating.
a little higher than him, but the guy was so tall that it was a little in the way. But yeah,
Oh no, it was funny. I mean, our seats were like diagonal from theirs. So once I saw a picture of their like perspective,
You can see where he
I
was,
could
the
spot
angle.
them out
Yeah,
easy. So we're
I couldn't
fucking
find you.
flashing
I had
our
to
light.
take a picture.
I was like, dude, we're gonna look for the flashing flashlights, and all 3 of us are sitting there tapping our flashlights.
That's how I found you. I saw the 3 lights.
So it turned out actually all of us were on TV. Chris was on TV.
Yeah.
Our boss caught us on there, and you could actually see from that same picture you took when Roman Reigns is on the curtain, standing up, holding up the finger. You could see me in the back holding up the finger. I'm not even replicating what he's doing. I'm actually trying to get their attention. But yeah, overall it's a great night. It was a great night with the boys. We had a lot of fun. It's I will say from a perspective of being a first-time audience member, but having seen the show on TV, I feel like as an audience member, you're almost a prop to the show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You don't, and as a casual viewer, very sporadic viewer, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And they don't really do a great job.
Because you get no commentating, though.
There's no narrative, there's no
Yeah.
commentary.
To do that.
So, and I understand it's complicated. The show that they put on is incredible. Like, just
Yeah.
thinking about what we try to do here and
Yeah.
extrapolating that into a Madison Square Garden event. The pyrotechnics are fucking loud as
Imagine where I
fucking
was.
sin. Yeah, these guys
closer to it.
scared the shit out of me
Let's
the
go to
first
the
time.
cane!
Oh,
You didn't
dude.
even know- but the thing is, too, they were louder than they looked. Like,
Yes, they weren't big.
loud enough for the volume.
Yeah.
that
It was
they were.
echoing in MSG for sure.
Yeah.
It was echoing, but it was great, man. To see the athleticism live, that was something cool. We got to see Rey Mysterio, 20-year anniversary, so that was awesome. He came out with his son. That was kind of the feature of the night in terms of what they were promoting. Definitely lacked, I think, like a big pop,
There
star
was
power.
There
Yeah.
was no surprise, which I tried to temper your expectations.
No, the crowd though is fully engaged, packed. It's a packed
Madison
house.
Square Garden crowd is unlike any other crowd.
Young
Yeah.
kids loving every second of it. Like these kids were really loving every moment. You could see all these people our age with their young children, and you could see the generational
Oh, I feel
passing
old now.
down, and they love their
People our
guys.
age.
Whatever guys are available now, I know
Yeah.
we compare them to Stone Cold and
Yeah.
The Rock, and it'd be great to have that again. But those kids still view these guys through
That's
that
their
lens.
Stone Cold and Rock.
So it's cool, they're loving it. Heyman was fucking funny. It was cool to
He's
see
the
Paul
greatest.
Heyman
He's the greatest.
live. He talked some shit because the mic went dead.
Yeah.
So he had to get a new mic, and he goes, "Oh, this sound guy must be from New Jersey." And then the whole crowd went in on him.
There were
So-
some Jersey people who booed that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to mention that. So for a long time, WWE was doing shows at Barclays Center.
Right.
Whenever anything was in the city, it was Barclays.
Yeah.
And
Especially
I
when it
like
was
Barclays.
new.
Do you know the reason behind that?
Cheaper.
It had to be.
Madison
It had to be a
Square
good
Garden,
contract.
Like, demands,
Right.
that has to be streamed on the MSG network, and they demand a lot more money.
Well, to book the Garden is like astronomical,
Yeah.
so that's why your ticket prices are escalated. They actually just did announce a Barclay show in October for Raw.
We should just fucking go do that. Why don't we just go fucking
I was going to
take
send that
off
to you, but then
now?
I didn't want to hear him complain. I can't fit in those seats either, and I'll just go fuck myself.
All right. Well, you got to make something happen. Woo! He fell asleep.
No, I'm awake.
No. That would be cool though. It was more than
It's an
anything. It's just
experience.
fun to go out with your friends.
Yeah, man.
We were just getting into it, buying in. Oh
To
yeah.
that point, though, Barclays Center, if you've ever been to a live show,
Yeah.
they are the crowd. It's a real New York, like trolling, like yeeting,
Brooklyn.
urine,
Earring?
check the show. And in some regard, it's funny. Like when I last went, they had they were passing a beach ball around in the crowd. The crowd was like hijacked.
The
by
beach ball was
ball.
over.
That
That's funny.
everybody was screaming for this thing, and then
Yeah.
to the point that they were chanting like, "We want beach ball."
That's funny.
And like that the wrestlers were in the ring, like what the fuck is going on? That's how.
Do you remember your first show?
That's how
What was your
Brooklyn it was.
very first live
show?
show?
Was, like '96, Valentine's Day, something. WCW.
Do you remember the
All I remember from that show was whatever Stacy Keibler's name was. I think it was like Miss Tess.
Miss Hancock?
Miss Hancock. I remember her dancing on
Fucking
the.
names.
Oh,
dance,
Maron.
and it was like, okay, I was like.
That was not 1996. Stacy Keibler wasn't in there. No, Stacy Keibler wasn't there until about 2000.
Dude, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
You know, it was
This
a
kid
long
was
time
this
ago.
kid was born in like
But what I wanted to say
1991.
was
Yeah.
that Barclays Center, it's definitely a troll crowd. but
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden wasn't like that.
No,
And I like the
it's
troll
fun.
crowd a little bit too, but
Yeah.
it was nice to have like positive energy
Yeah.
fans that aren't trolls trying to take over the show.
There was like that they talk about that electricity in the crowd. There was that. The energy was in the crowd. Like everybody was really engaged and excited to be there. I will say Roman Reigns takes a fucking year and a day to walk to the ring.
Well, that's his whole thing.
His whole intro is just this like doom march, and we were sitting there like, bro, this guy's still walking. He's not even in the ring yet. And we were like looking at, because you're there, it's a 3-hour thing, so you're kind of all right. What's the pace? What are we gonna see?
Fuck
When's
Roman
like the big
Reigns.
thing? Yeah, he speared the shit out of that guy at the very end, which was pretty cool. I have that on camera.
Tricky Ricky says that your mic is out.
My mic is out.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks to be talking here. Figure that out.
Thanks, Tricky Ricky. You're the man for saying that. It's probably the plug if I had to guess. So just double check the.
Yeah.
It's not plugged
Right.
in over there. Hey,
Amateur hour
welcome
over here.
back.
So I've been yapping. Hopefully you could hear me from somebody
somebody's
else's
mic.
mic. But fuck
Oh
it.
wait,
you
it
know.
wouldn't be a show if Chris didn't have a fucking
Yeah, I know,
sound
right?
problem.
We're going back
Technical
to
issues.
the beginning days.
It's the
of
most
show.
expensive microphone, and it's not plugged in.
I'm not paying $30 for that one.
Yeah.
But no, we had a great time. So I'd be open to going to some more. Hopefully in the future we could see fucking Cody Rhodes, and I'd love to see Pat McAfee.
One of the reasons why I put a halt on my ticket purchase after he got injured.
That's right.
Because we did plan to go that, and we did anticipate that they would have had a big Cody Rhodes segment because he's
Definitely.
been talking up the Garden, how his dad almost won the title at the Garden, so that would have been a big deal.
Damn.
I definitely would have sprung for 200 or whatever
You
the
would've done
tickets
it?
were. Yeah, but not for what they were putting on that show. Because you got to understand, I'm so jaded at this point. I've been
Yeah.
going to shows since I'm 5 years old.
Yeah.
And if it's not something that's like a
Over the top.
Appreciate
major
you, Rick.
deal, I don't want to throw down that kind of cash.
It's understandable. Yeah, I'm definitely. I didn't want to put up the money that we put up, but it was just
If I
one of
had
those
never
things.
seen a show before, I would have considered it.
That's what
but
it was.
I went to an untaped show like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago at I think it was the Coliseum.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And,
Old school.
yeah. And it was a good time.
Fucking no seats.
But this
Talking
was
about
this
not
was a
fitting?
while
Holy
back.
shit.
So Randy Orton came out and like
So my
He's
memory
injured
is
right
so
now.
vivid. I remember my very first show, and it was at Madison Square Garden, 1987. I was 5 years old.
Jesus,
I went with my parents, and I remember the main event was Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was the world champion. Randy Savage was the Intercontinental champion, and they main evented. And I remember, Mega
behind
Powers exploded. Yeah. I remember saying to my mom, I was like, Mom, Hulk doesn't look right today. He looks weird, and I think he's going to lose. Hulk Hogan came out in all white. He had white trunks on, white boots, white knee pads, white T-shirt. And he would do that from time to time in the early to mid-'80s. He would stop with the red and yellow, and sometimes he'd wear blue or white, like a Rip from No Holds Barred and stuff like that. But he came out in all white. And ironically enough, Miss Elizabeth, Macho Man's manager at the time, got knocked out outside the ring, and Hulk Hogan went out there to attend to her, and they counted him out. And he lost, and they raised Macho Man's hand. So Macho Man's in the ring with both belts, like waving them in the air like he won the world title and his Intercontinental title. Then obviously Hulk gets in the ring and he clears house and things like that.
You don't
But
win by count out though. How does that?
Huh?
you can't win a title with a count.
You can't, but Macho Man was just fucking with the crowd like, I'm the real champ. Ooh,
Yeah.
Like he just grabbed the belt and
Did
started
he not
waving it
notice
around.
Miss Elizabeth was knocked out or
He didn't
something
give a shit.
like
He's
that?
a heel.
What, he was done with Miss Elizabeth by this point?
No, but Macho would abuse Miss Elizabeth, and she was like his servant back then when he was a heel.
Yeah.
Until he turned face, and he would open the ropes for her. But when Macho was a heel, she would open the ropes for him.
Yeah.
And he would be like, Miss Elizabeth, you don't say nothing, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds right.
And to fast forward like the conversation, it's very vivid in my memory. We were stopped at a light, and it started snowing. This is when we're exiting the garden trying to go home, and a car pulled up right next to us, like this Lincoln Continental, and it had like a dog on the hood, like a dog logo. And they rolled down the window, and it was the junkyard dog inside the car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and he was like waving. I was waving to him and everything.
Nice.
So the JYD was like stuck in traffic right next to us too. So I have so many stories like that. So I'm so excited that you got to finally get to a show. But goal wise, we should all kind of plan for something.
It's got
at
to
some
be the gang.
point. Yeah, the gang should
It'll
get
be a
out
big
there
splash there.
Yeah.
for sure.
And then maybe we'll get, what was funny actually? They played the D-Generation X. They
I
have
saw
the
that.
Suck
You
It
sent
cam.
that. Yeah.
That was funny.
But at first
But
I
that's
was
a
like,
tease.
no,
I
yeah, no. I was like,
also-
are they
I
going to
was-
bring out fucking
I
Shawn Michaels?
saw
or
the
NXT?
camera guy. I was this close to getting on the Suck It cam.
Oh, that's
Dude, I
fucking
was-
funny. We're
I
like, this
saw
one's for
it
John.
Here.
I wasn't even with Chris, but
I bet you
literally
wanna get
I
on
knew
the
you
show
guys
the
were
whole
recording.
time.
I was hoping. I do.
Suck
I want to
it.
mention also just kind of the history behind the whole thing with WWE and Madison Square Garden. Obviously, they were built in the Garden, but they stopped doing shows there for several years.
It's true.
And it actually got to the point where it was. You'll probably be able to fill in the gaps here, but it was before AEW was a thing.
Correct.
I think it was still Ring of Honor, maybe even.
Correct.
Cody Rhodes tried to put on a show there. He assembled a whole show with like guys from New Japan and Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
and they were going to do a show at the Garden. I think it was like a night or two before WrestleMania, even.
Right.
And WWE put the kibosh on it. They called it Madison Square Garden. They were like, "What the fuck? Like
Damn.
we are Madison. You are."
Yeah,
they're
no
synonymous.
other wrestling promotion has gone on Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
Really?
during
Like
the
I said,
WCW.
it's the house Vince McMahon built.
I see that.
WCW has
never was
never
there.
done a show at Madison Square Garden.
Alternatively, WWE or WCW's version of that would be like the Georgia Dome, I guess. They were more like the Atlanta
South,
territory.
they're Southern Bath Wrestling Company.
Yeah. So, so it's interesting though because WWE stopped doing shows there because it's so expensive. They were doing
Sure.
everything in Barclay.
Sure.
And Madison Square Garden was kind of like, well, fuck you. If you're not going to do a show with us, then we're
Do
gonna
your competition.
we're
Yeah, fuck
gonna
yourself.
Right.
Fuck your loyalty.
And they ended up.
Come to
WWE
me.
was able to convince them to drop the show.
Jeez.
And then
Vince
now
picked
years
up the
later,
phone.
they're finally doing some more shows
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry, he was on speakerphone. He doesn't pick up the phone. I forgot.
That's right. Well, he picks up the phone. He just puts it on speaker. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. And Cody was the one the one organizing that, and he got screwed over. And he was supposed to be there, but then he got injured. So
Right,
he keeps
right.
getting
Still
gypped.
hasn't been
He
able
still
to
hasn't
do
had
the-
his Madison Square Garden moment yet.
I'm
but
sure
that
He's
was-
he
wrestled
was-
at the Garden many a times, but never in the light that he's now
Right,
considered
not
like one of
now.
the headliners
He's a
and
big
things
guy.
like that. So
Right.
for sure.
So yeah, it was a cool show. Going forward though, we have what else is going on with wrestling? We got
Tomorrow night, SummerSlam.
Manana.
yeah.
What's
So-
going to be
Of
the
course, I have
headlining
work
match?
till 9 o'clock.
Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, number 867.
Chris has some
Number
facts. Chris was looking
Brock
up some
Lesnar
facts.
and Roman Reigns have main evented less times than Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
I would rather watch Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
But the fact of the matter is, you said 1,000 times.
I would rather watch Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels now. than I
Anybody
ra-
would. Anybody would.
No, I'm saying Shawn and Bret got in the ring in their old age. I'd rather watch that than Brock Lesnar.
Even
and Roman.
agreed. I think anybody would.
That's
But they
sad.
faced off more than Brock and Roman have.
Sure, because they faced off during the 80s, the 90s, and the late 90s. They almost spanned 3 decades of wrestling against each
Oh, I
other.
don't know that
Because they went through the tag team scene, they went through the Intercontinental scene, and then they went through the world title
Well,
scene.
1v1, they've gone 10 times
I would
against each
say
other.
that was missing.
That's
from,
more than Brock and Roman have.
that was missing from Monday Night Raw. I thought there was going to be more hype towards SummerSlam, seeing as it was
Yeah.
SummerSlam week.
I'm
and
surprised Brock
caught-
wasn't there to kind of promote the
yeah,
show.
that's
and,
why I was
you
a little
know.
disappointed.
We were
I wanted to see
expecting
Brock.
maybe an
Something.
F5, just
Yeah.
a quick whoever, just
Yeah.
fucking.
So that's
toss him.
another fun fact. Brock Lesnar has not wrestled on Monday Night Raw
Oh,
since
yeah.
2002. It's been
Fuck.
20 years. So I thought
understand.
that was it for you. I thought that was going to be a prime opportunity for him to come out.
And
Maybe he
between-
could have wrestled Austin Theory or something.
Oh, he's just
you
body
know.
slam that kid
Just
through the
fuck him
mat,
up,
great.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what he did last time too. Tricky
Damn.
Ricky said that they're killing wrestling. I'm sorry, Rick. I disagree. It's not as good as it used to be, but I mean that WrestleMania again was the best one we had.
Yeah,
in like
but
10
if you
years.
take out
It's-
Cody and Stone Cold, did you like it?
It's in transition. We had
There
fun
was a
watching
couple
the
other
other
thing-
match.
cool
I forgot
thing.
what-
Yeah,
If,
no.
if you take out Stone Cold and Cody Rhodes, did you like it?
Well,
that's like
remember
saying if you fucking
Well,
take
the
sauce and
McAfee
cheese
match
off a
was pretty
pizza,
good.
it's bad.
But you got to understand, WrestleMania was 2 nights of 4 hours each.
yeah,
So
What was
we watched
memorable?
all of it.
I remember the Pat Stone Cold. So Stone Cold headline
They're
2
the
nights.
Johnny
really.
the
Knoxville match,
Jackass
but
stuff
Jackass
was
shit
cool.
was
I mean, there was
great.
some neat stuff in there.
Yeah.
It was a good show. I'm not saying it was not a good
I
show.
would say
It was one of the better shows in recent memory.
And
You
we have
can
hope for the
tell-
future though, because
Yeah.
Vince is gone.
You can
know,
tell
not
they're
that I
in
hate it.
I don't know
transition.
if that's hope.
There's
or
a
not.
transition happening.
Something different. Something
And-
it'll be different at the very
Do you think
least.
Triple
if
H will be better?
if Triple
if
H is smart
No.
enough to let the wrestlers, like everybody talks about, oh, back in the day, the wrestlers had more input. It was less this, less that. Let these guys, give them some rope. Let them be themselves and do their thing. They're letting Pat do it. They're letting Cody kind of do it. Like they're
Are you
dictating.
excited
you have
for
to
that
get
match?
to a point where you're.
The Pat.
Baron Corbin, McAfee.
Yeah, I think that'll be a funny one. I think first, I think Pat lost more weight, got more athletic to get ready for this. They're buddies too. They're old
Yeah.
football
Yeah.
mates. I think Pat's gonna lose because I think they're gonna start brewing up like a bigger clash for him. He's not a full timer, but
Right.
he's
Special
definitely a
appearance
draw.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's
Well, in that case, they would if they were building up, you would think
You
that
think
they'd
he'd
make
win?
them win. But
Well, no. If you
It's
make
Corbin,
him
you wanna
lose, then
start
you'd
it-
want a rematch. You know?
yeah. Like,
If
know,
he
start-
just
oh
wins,
well,
and
if they
it's
have him
done.
go 3 times with Corbin, then yeah, then they'd probably
tough
have
thing
to
for
start with
Pat.
this.
It's almost like they, how everybo's got to go through the heel phase. Like Pat's kind of well liked, I think,
Yeah.
because of his show and his internet presence.
Not
sure.
everybody has to go through that heel transfer. It is great when
helps,
they
though.
do.
It
There's
always
very
helps
few
when-
wrestlers who have
Oh,
not
that's
gone
right.
heel.
Yeah.
in
Speaking of
history.
heel, we saw Logan Paul. That was the other fucko we saw.
He's
Yeah.
wrestling The Miz tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, the
so that's
Miz.
another
The
featured
Miz's
match.
wife was out there, so that was
It
fun.
was really weird how the show started because
during-
they just jumped right
They
into
did.
it and
It was
immediately.
awkward.
And I read online that they said that
They fluffed
they
something.
did that so that the crowd wouldn't be able to boo him. The crowd didn't boo him in the beginning. They booed him the
the
second
belt up.
time he came out.
Then
Then
push
they
the
booed
belt
the
back?
shit out of him.
What?
The belt's falling off.
Yeah, the second time, like once he was out again, the crowd was done with him and booing shit out of him and didn't want to see him anymore.
But yeah, Pat.
I don't think he's going to go well as a face. It's only a matter of time before they boo the shit out of him. And
They have to
becomes
make him a
heel.
bad guy because
Yeah.
fans,
He should be a bad
people
guy. He's
already.
not-
He should be. He's not
a-
likable.
He's an internet,
No.
not a troll, but like he's got a shitload of followers because they like love to hate him.
Right.
So if you have someone you that
Right,
loves
right.
to be hated
Right.
and doesn't mind it and doesn't take it personal,
Right.
fucking go right and lean right into it.
Right.
I know they tried to do it. That was at WrestleMania when the Miz kind of backstabbed Logan Paul in the
Correct.
tag team
Right.
match.
That's
So they were trying to play with like, oh, is the audience gonna like this or? I think he's a full-blown fucking heel. Just make him a dick.
It's
make
only a
him-
matter of time.
Yeah, go all in. He seems dedicated. You can't. I don't knock people's like if their work ethic is there, if they're trying.
He's a tough
he's
worker.
athletic.
He trains hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so you give him the chance, and it's all about the entertainment. I don't care you like or hate him. I hate fucking Austin Theory for obvious reasons because I
Well, you're
was
supposed
trained to hate him,
Yeah.
and he's
Right.
very hateable.
Yeah.
Corbin, I don't know anything about, so I don't know what the matchup looks like.
People
but
hate him.
People hate him.
But there's an argument.
kick pat
I don't
in the
know if
chest,
I
I was
agree with it, but there's an argument out there that there's heat and then there's go away heat,
Correct.
and that there's a difference.
That's
There's,
very true.
we don't like you because your character, and then there's like we just don't want to fucking see
Rocky.
you at
Correct.
all on our TV
I see.
whatsoever.
Go away heat means I want to change the channel. I
There's,
don't want nothing.
there's
to do.
arguments where they'll
makes
say
sense.
there is no such thing as go away heat,
No, that's
and
not-
all
that's
heat is
not-
heat, and that's only that way because they make it that way.
I'm not
I
in
don't
that
know.
party.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Rocky sucks. You think people?
Well, the
Rocky
idea is
die,
when
die,
they're-
Rocky die. You think that's
That's a different kind of heat, and that was somebody that they were trying to make a good guy that was just jammed down your throat, and fans rejected it.
yeah okay.
People gagged.
Not his fault. Yeah, no.
Not his
Go
fault.
away heat would be like what's his face winning the WCW World Title?
David Arquette.
David Arquette. That's go
Yeah.
away heat. Like
Yeah,
fans
that's a
didn't want
fair.
anything to do with that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or like like Baron Corbin, they'll say people just don't even want to see him. It's not that they don't like him because he's a good bad guy. I think he actually is pretty talented. He's
It's all right.
he's
It's
not
another one of my suspicions about Pat losing because it's like bring that guy up a little where you really hate his guts. Pat's so well
people hate
liked.
his guts because he
Or
was
I
Kurt
think-
Angle's last match. Was against Baron Corbin. Kurt Angle lost to him, and
I didn't
everyone's like,
even
"Why the
I
fuck was
remember
his
that.
last match against Baron Corbin of all
It
people?"
was not memorable at all.
No, it wasn't.
What else what's on the ticket for SummerSlam aside from the
Brock and
main
Roman.
and the Pat?
So there's another Seth Rollins versus mystery opponent match, kind of like WrestleMania. They're doing that with him again.
They
They don't have anything for him, man.
Yeah, I'm saying
No, that's
'cause
not that's not what happened. So yes, that's the case. But the reason they're doing that is because the guy Matt Riddle, who we saw in the main
He
event,
got injured.
he got a stinger, which is like when your fucking spine
somebody
is
did
like
get
hit
hurt
or whatever.
We noticed somebody.
So
Well, they
the
also- I don't know
rumor
if they were
mill is
selling
saying
it
that
or-
they've been doing like this promo recently, and it's probably going to be either Edge or Bray Wyatt. If I had to guess, it's probably Edge coming back.
That would be good.
Yeah, against
That
Seth.
would be awesome.
Okay.
Love Edge.
Yeah, Seth Rollins actually made an appearance at the very end. He was like the pop surprise, I
Yeah,
guess you'd
yeah,
say,
yeah.
right after the
Yeah.
tag team match that we were watching happened. And it was kind of not awkward. It was just like, yeah, everybody was excited to see him. He came out, threw a beat into this guy.
Oh, he
hit him
did
with the
exactly what he
stairs.
does as a bad guy. He came out after the guy was already beat up, and then he just capitalized, to give him the stomp. He does the whole
Yeah.
when he comes out, his music,
Oh,
the fans
and
all chant
yeah,
along.
chant along.
Oh, and
Yeah.
he does a little dance.
So
You know,
before we
that's what I
wrap
expected.
up like the SummerSlam conversation, maybe we can go around and kind of give like your favorite match or your favorite SummerSlam memory. I know you and Rob are not going to have too many, but I can kind of color it in for you and
Hell
things
yeah.
like that. But Sweet, how about you? What stands
Is it-
out to you in the history of
You
SummerSlam?
go first, because I don't remember by like, oh, this happened at that pay per view.
Right.
In recent memory.
Well, if you give me a match, I tell you what pay-per-view it was. I'm a fucking encyclopedia.
Isn't it the SummerSlam? It's
That's
the
according to
SummerSlam?
Bret Hart. The
Bret Hart
SummerSlam.
says the SummerSlam. Every interview they cut
the
it all
SummerSlam.
together. The SummerSlam.
That's a
Yeah,
great-
at the SummerSlam,
SummerSlam.
I'm gonna fucking kick Shawn. But he's Mr. SummerSlam, right?
He is
that the
Mr.
whole thing?
SummerSlam for sure.
Who?
Absolutely,
Bret.
Bret Hart. Bret
Since
Hart.
when? I never heard that.
What?
Go back to sleep.
I've never. I'm just saying. I never heard anyone call Bret Mr. SummerSlam.
It's all over the internet. I even posted it on our
Apparently
Instagram.
headlined
and
SummerSlam
everything.
a lot.
So
Like the
Bret Hart
first
had,
one, and
yeah.
then,
So Bret Hart is in 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, and 97, and he had probably the best match of the card. 90% of those SummerSlams.
What was he had?
Mr.
One,
the
was it him and
SummerSlam.
Shawn went against each other once?
Never, not on a SummerSlam.
Yeah, they fucked up, man. That's the biggest disappointment. Everybody keeps bringing that up.
What?
Could have been the best fucking
Yeah,
rivalry.
if they could have got their
coulda
shit
over the
together, they
shit.
could have
They
wrestled
got more
again,
out of them
you
than
know.
they did out of Roman and Brock.
We're still
no,
talking
no.
about Bret and Shawn,
Yeah.
and it's
Of
been
course.
30 years. Are we going to still talk about Brock and Roman in 30
We
years
won't
from
be.
now?
No, no, kids maybe.
I don't know.
Probably not. But
Probably
wrestling's not as hot as it was. But,
So
that's
my
it.
favorite memories of SummerSlam, I only went to one SummerSlam, and that was 1998, and that was peak Attitude Era.
Sounds like a good.
The main event was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker. And this is the match where The Undertaker broke his tailbone.
Oh shit.
So he had Stone Cold on the Spanish announce table, and the Undertaker, all 6'10" of him, got on the top rope, and from the top rope jumped to outside the ring, and he leg dropped Stone Cold through through the announce table and broke his tailbone.
Oh my God!
But
bro,
that, I mean, that's just
too
like
big. It's too big.
fucking crazy, dude. I mean, that was live wise, that was my most memorable moment. Obviously, the only one I went to.
Sick.
But in terms of like, I remember watching '88 SummerSlam, and that's kind of like what me and Rob did recently. We purchased and pre-ordered a 2-pack of the Mega Powers,
Right.
Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan.
Ooh, yeah.
That's from the 1988 main event at Madison Square Garden. That's the very first SummerSlam ever in history. The main event was the Mega Powers, Hulk and Macho versus the Mega Bucks, Andre the Giant and the $1 Million Man.
Holy shit!
And that was a great SummerSlam. Another SummerSlam moment that was awesome for me was Bret Hart finally winning a singles title against Mr. Perfect in '91. And then a year later, he and the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, wrestled for the Intercontinental title in the main event of SummerSlam. This is the only time in history that the Intercontinental title went on last ahead of the world title. And they sold out 80,000 people in Wembley Stadium in the UK.
Holy shit!
So, Mr. SummerSlam.
You know, another good moment of that was Bret versus The Undertaker with Shawn as the ref.
Yeah,
and
he
then
spit
Shawn
in his
has,
face, and then he ducks, and then Shawn hits The Undertaker with the chair, and Bret
Yeah.
becomes a 5-time world champion.
Yeah, because
That was great,
Shawn
too.
pinned it
That was
for
in
him.
New Jersey. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great, too. That was a great match.
I'm looking up some of the main events, and another one they say Rock versus Kurt Angle versus Triple H. For
Rock versus Rock, SummerSlam 2002. That's
Yep,
a great
that
one.
was another one. The
So Rock versus Brock?
Rock versus Brock, SummerSlam
Rock
92,
lost that, right? I mean,
2002.
He dropped the belt and then kind of left after that.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, there's some. I actually one that I like is Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels happened at
Stop it.
SummerSlam. And that's when Shawn Michaels
Is
was
that
like
the flops?
overselling and
Yeah,
fucking
okay.
whatever.
Oversold.
And I thought that was cool because as a kid I loved Shawn Michaels and as a kid I love Hulk Hogan, so it was cool to see him finally
So
face
I
up.
blame Vince for that, to be realistically.
Yeah.
Do you know the story behind that? Why he did that?
Well, I know that Hulk Hogan kind of just kept naysaying any of the ideas, and
That's
Shawn
all you
got
know?
pissed
You don't
off.
know anything else about that?
And they kept coming up with new ideas, and Hogan kept doing the
That don't work for me, brother.
So
That
Shawn,
don't work for me, bro. I
that's
heard
why
him say
Shawn
that
was a
another
dick about it and just oversold, and was like, "Fuck you."
So
pretty
the
much.
original plan was to do a babyface match. And then Vince McMahon approached Shawn Michaels, probably because Hulk Hogan's a better politicker than Shawn Michaels ever could be. And Hogan somehow convinced Vince that, hey, Shawn should turn heel. I want to face the 97 Shawn. And then Shawn backstage says, you could not handle me in 97. I would tear you a new asshole. So Shawn Michaels went
words.
heel, and he got very edgy for that entire promo.
Yeah, he went
They
on
did like a Larry
CNN.
Larry King live skit where Shawn dressed as Hulk and he just mocked him, made
Because
fun
Hogan
of him. He
was
came out
on-
with like a cane and a walker and
Hogan
stuff
was
like
on Larry King.
Yeah, the
before
previous night.
and like mentioned Shawn in passing or
Correct.
something like that.
But yeah, you got to see 97 era Shawn Michaels against Hulk Hogan, and because Shawn Michaels is such a good heel, he made Hulk Hogan kind of look undermined. And the original plan was for them to do 3 pay-per-views back to back to back to back.
Oh shit!
And Hogan said, "I don't know if I can work with this guy more than one night, so I'm going over tonight, brother." And that was it. And then Shawn's like, "Fuck that, fuck him. He's taking money from me, and I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna make him look like he's a fucking truck." And he did. And Hogan
Yeah.
would like close on him, and Shawn Michaels would fucking hit the ground, get up, hit the ground, and flip all over. And
It was
just,
almost like
the most
80s
realistic,
style.
like
It was like
there's
80s
memes of it
style.
all over the internet. It's
yeah.
the most realist. It's the most ridiculous fucking sell job I've ever seen in my life.
But he did it to stick it to him.
Right.
That's
But it's
fucking
also
funny.
it's very like almost a callback to the hokey 80s wrestling where that's how it was back then.
Yeah,
Fucking
well, they pop back
kick
up.
somebody in
They didn't do it
die.
quite like that. He over exaggerated it.
He went
way.
It's like
Yeah,
beyond
extra.
Ric Flair.
He went
It's like-
way
Yeah,
over
Ric
the
Flair.
fucking.
Yeah,
There was a
that's
few
funny.
things.
Flair.
Yeah.
But yeah, SummerSlam. I'll be honest. Me, I champion it. I try to be a positive fan. Not really that excited for it. Truth be told.
I gotta agree. I'm kind of lukewarm to
You
tomorrow.
gotta
night's
have
show.
some
Like the
kind
inside
of.
the tauntaun?
We don't have anything right now.
They don't have any like.
Cody Rhodes would have been the.
You gotta balance with some
Again.
nostalgia. You gotta put some old in there, and it
I
seems like
agree.
they're trying very hard not to do that. And I'm like,
Would Brock
that's what we
wrestle
want. you know?
Cody? there'd be a
At
Brock
some point, I
Cody,
mean-
Oh, yeah, I'm
Roman
sure at
Reigns,
some
Cody
point.
type of thing going
Yeah.
on.
I would think
like
at
that
some
starts to
point,
get interesting.
100%.
But
Because Cody's big,
we're
but
like
he's
a year away
athletic.
from that, though.
That's I know what you mean.
He's
It's-
fucking.
You got to build him. You got to. Yeah,
At
that
Comic-Con, he
sucks.
was in a sling other than being on
Bro,
camera.
he almost lost his pec. He
Yeah.
like the whole thing was hanging off, and
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
surgery was like, he had to get some.
I was
kind of
hoping and expecting that he would be on TV.
Yeah.
on
while
Fun
injured.
Draw.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because he was
yeah.
just like I thought
Correct.
he was maybe on a promo thing to try
I
to
thought
help
that too.
get the numbers
Maybe
up.
up.
sooner. Maybe as he's, it's
Yeah,
only been like
closer.
a month or two. Maybe in a few
He's
months.
doing all the media stuff though. Like they just put out his Ultimate Action figure on
Yeah,
Mattel
it's all
Creations.
an
I picked
SB.
that
Oh,
up. I
shit,
pre-ordered that. Today's
I
the last
didn't
day
get
if
it.
you want one.
Ah,
Yeah.
It's $30.
Money.
Whatever.
Good.
But yeah,
I should. That's a
Look,
good idea.
I'm a fan of him, but I'm not that bought into him yet that I'm gonna buy
I
his
love
shit.
him.
When he's here
I love
for a
him.
few years,
I
I'll
love
be
him.
like, hell yeah.
He's the only current wrestler that I actually paid money for to watch or
Yeah,
his
likewise.
merchandise,
I
for
mean,
sure.
yeah.
He showed it
So-
off.
And
Like I
Brock,
said-
I'd like to. I'd see Brock live.
He
Yeah,
would
I've seen
match
Brock
up
live.
physically, like
Yeah.
not to the
No one
degree of
matches up
Brock,
physically to
you know what I'm
Brock.
saying? But
Yeah, except
he
Lashley.
looks 6. Cody looks 6'2" or whatever
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck he is,
Yeah.
and he's agile. Like
Yeah.
he could
He
go
used
off
to
the
be
top.
so much smaller.
He
It
was.
would be,
yeah.
good. It would be
Yeah.
interesting for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. So
that kind of
next year-
segues this into the next topic, Chris.
Sure.
This is kind of like it's going to be an ongoing thing. If you guys are liking it, chat, hit us up with your own list. And if you're really enjoying stuff like this, we can kind of do it on other topics. It doesn't have to be wrestling
Segments.
related. But we are going to individually go around the table, and we are going to list who we think makes the all-time top 10 pro wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
And the
What?
way I did it, I kind of put a tweet out, and I also put it into our social medias, and I put a top 50 list together. I did that during the pandemic when I was bored and I had nothing to fucking do, and we were cooped up in the fucking house all day. How I rate wrestlers is 3 key categories. The first one is their promo skills.
Mike.
So, yeah, mic skills. So
I'd go
how
with
they
Mike.
can sell themselves, how they can sell the show, how they can sell the match, how they can kind of make their opponent look good or look bad. That goes a long way. And then the next thing is your look. Do you look imposing? Do you have an iconic look? Do you have an original look? Did your look withstand the test of time? Were you able to kind of change with the times and change your look? Does your merchandise sell? Does people look and you go, holy shit, look at this fuck? Or wow, he looks really fucking cool. You know, things like that. And then the last thing is probably the thing that matters the most is when the bell rings, you know, can you go? Can you wrestle? Can you make your opponent look good? Can you
dance?
do it safely? How many all-time great matches have you had? So it goes from a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being, if you give someone a 10 in each category, that means that they're on the fucking GOAT list. They're one of the greatest of all times. Like, for example, The Rock on my list would say, I say he's a 10 promo, but he's a 7 in the ring. Bret the Hitman Hart would be a 10 in the ring and a 7 promo. So that's, and you add all 3 of those up, and you get 30 points if they're all 10s, which nobody's
getting 10s,
getting 30 points across the board. So we all went ahead and we did that before the show, and Sweet's being a prick about it, and he wouldn't tell me what fucking his 10
not
list
starting.
was. You're not starting.
I'm not
We're going to
starting.
finish with you.
Yeah,
I'm
finish
putting
with
you
Sweet.
over.
So they went through this
I'm
already.
putting you
They
over.
said what their list is. I
putting you
I want
over.
to save it for the show. To
Vin,
get
we're
live
going to go
reactions.
from you first, and then
All
we're
right.
going to kick it to me
I'm
next.
writing my list
So
as we go.
give us
right.
some context on how you kind of compiled this list and run us down.
So, you know, for me, it's the list will be familiar because it's the ones that I know, and the ones that I know are probably the most popular ones of all time.
Sure.
But I think that's for good reason. Like, you know them, they're
Right.
memorable, they had the look, they had the skill, they
Right.
had, you know, they had what you're talking about.
In 30 years, you're still talking about it.
And 30 years later, yeah, being 35 years old, so yeah, that's where my list comes from. It comes from like, okay, who is there? I even looked through the intros, their music, you know, like
Yeah,
who
you want to
sparks
start
that
with like
mem-
number 10 and then work your way to your top.
So yeah, we'll go 10 first. So my number 10, Sergeant Slaughter, for a number of reasons.
Rob, give me some Sarge. Eddie's disease.
He's one of the all-time great characters in the ring.
Yeah.
So much so that he became a G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
He did the heel turn and really to the visceral
that took
reaction.
nothing but balls.
Yeah, he had big balls to do it. He had a lot of trust in his partner in doing that. So, and obviously all the love that Sarge has shown us. So we love him back.
We love Sarge.
So number 9, Mick Foley.
Okay.
Mick Foley's up there. Of course, memorable. What I know about his career, just the absolute toughness that the guy's shown throughout being a backyard wrestler.
He's
ECW.
a fucking real life crash test dummy.
Yeah, the guy's incredible. He sacrificed his body and his life to make the
He's a fucking
WWF.
punching bag.
he was in a backyard and he knew what it could be, and he invested himself in it, so he deserves to be on the all-time greats.
Absolutely.
I put Shawn Michaels at number 8.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels is, for all the reasons Chris always says, memorable. On the mic, just a real heel. He knew how
Piece
to give
of
it to
shit.
people. He was athletic. He was a good wrestler.
Super athletic.
From what
Super
what I
athletic.
observe. D-Generation X calls back to my childhood.
Iconic. Yeah.
And that was just like some all-time great shit. And it, of course, as Chris always says, it matched like being 13
Yeah.
and having that fuck you attitude.
Yeah.
So Shawn Michaels. And then I remember the Heartbreak Kid earlier. I remember, Sweet Chin Music. So
There's no way you put Bret above him.
I put Bret right above him.
You've only how many Bret Hart matches have you even seen?
Now, Chris,
You remember
see, here we
Shawn
go, here
so
we go.
much more. How can I? That's you're
You
doing
didn't
that
even
for
let him
Joe.
talk.
Didn't
Let him
even
finish his
understand
list.
it.
It's not your list.
let's
It's his
go.
list,
Let's
you
hear
prick.
it.
So now
Let's
I'm
see how
Shut
you
your
can
fucking face.
justify fucking. All
There's
you
3
know
people
about
in this
Shawn.
table that are going to justify that. You're in a minority here.
So I justify this through a couple of things.
Out of your element.
Yes, I am out of my element. I've openly admitted that. I don't know as much as you guys, so I'm an outside observer.
No.
You know
making
why
these-
Brett's first? Because fuck Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We met Bret. It was nice. I obviously have a little bit of bias being there, seeing Joe, meeting him, and Rob, and he was a good guy.
But no, you spent a lot of time recently digging into the history
Joe has
and
sent
the
me
back.
countless videos. I've watched a lot. I just
Of
like
his
the
matches
I like,
or of him fucking talking shit about somebody?
No, not even talking shit. It was just whether it was him wrestling, because we watched all the we watched the highlight stuff, and we watched the Bret versus Shawn rivalry. We watched
Check that video out on
All
YouTube.
you know about Bret is his rivalry with Shawn.
Will
He
you
has-
let him finish?
Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin, that match is like an all-time great where Stone Cold's in the sharpshooter with the bloody, I just remember that shit.
Best match of all time.
Overall, yeah, like the work ethic thing. I like Bret for those things. I like the whole like, yeah, Chris can't handle it. It's fine.
Said he's
They're
dead.
literally
Yeah,
number
you're
7 and number 8. What do you want? They're interchangeable.
that for Joe.
As far as Vin is concerned,
Do
they're
it for Joe.
interchangeable.
what you do.
Why would he do it for me when he knows?
And,
know
and
not
this
what
isn't the
you do.
final
What is that
list
guy?
because we're gonna have to compile this into all 4
Correct.
of our judgments and how they rank. So
Correct.
they're both on the list. Shut the fuck
Shawn
up.
don't even make my list.
I got Macho Man at number 6.
Oh yeah.
Again, it comes back to that memorable shit, the promos, and
Savage
I
was
didn't get
legit.
to watch all of Randy Savage's things. So from what I know about Savage, I don't think he was the best wrestler. I don't know what.
He was pretty good back
Was
in
he?
for his
Bad.
day. He was ahead of the curve.
So,
for
He was
sure.
pretty quick for his
I
size, too.
am out of my fucking element. He'll just highlight the Bret Hart one.
right.
Hulk Hogan number 5. Come on, it's
That's
the
an easy-
Hulkster.
that's a
He's
no- yeah,
pop
no-brainer.
culture icon, Mr. Nanny, and grew up with the Hulk. I didn't get to watch
Suburban
the Hulk.
Commando.
I didn't get to watch the Hulk in his prime. I remember the
Three
WCW, the
NWO,
NWO, Dennis
yeah.
Rodman,
Sure.
and all that funny shit.
Reinvented himself late in his career.
Yeah, the dyed the black dyed beard with the fucking golden mustache. But the Hulkster is obviously one of
All right,
the
so we're in the
greats.
top 5 now.
Top
Vin's
5.
list.
I put Andre the Giant number 4. I just had watched that documentary too, so I'm biased. But this stuff goes back to him being like the 9th wonder of the fucking world, and how
Eighth
like
wonder of the world.
oh sorry 8th wonder. So he was just this big guinea, big guinea wrestler, and pounded beers, and he seemed like he was
Andre was an attraction for almost 4 decades.
yeah.
He started wrestling in the late 60s, and he transversed pretty much every continent. Everyone wanted Andre on their show. And this is before the Vince McMahon days. He would go around the territory, and everybody wanted Andre. Everybody wanted
Had
to
to
see
see
Andre. And then Vince McMahon Sr. finally said, no, he's my guy, and if you want him, you have to pay me.
Oh shit.
And then obviously Vince McMahon would do the same thing years later, and then Andre became the flagship of the show, kind of like the Undertaker recently.
That's right,
He was
that's
their
true.
locker room
Same
leader.
vein.
He was the boss. He was like the
Wait, tell
did-
me
No
that story.
baby
He
oil,
slammed
get
them.
out.
Was it the Silver Dome or was it Madison Square Garden? Where
So Hogan slammed Andre plenty of times.
the first WrestleMania one.
WrestleMania 3, Pontiac Silverdome,
Silver
1987,
Dome. All right.
That's great.
Where
Funny
is
you say
that?
that.
Detroit, Michigan.
I just saw the. You saw the.
Were you there?
At the Garden, I was. I saw
At
it
Madison
on
Square
closed
Garden,
circuit,
they have
on the big screen.
a layout of Hulk for what was it, WrestleMania 1?
WrestleMania 1.
MSG.
1985.
So they have his boots, the
amazing.
belt.
I saw you took pictures of that.
I have a couple of good pictures and some video of that.
That's great.
I definitely cut together that video. But yeah, so Andre goes number 4, Undertaker number 3.
Yeah.
He's just, we talked about him at nauseam too. He's another one that we always bring up.
Sure.
We've watched so much content from him recently. Yeah, you talk about the intro, the presence, the wrestling moves, the iconic chokeslam.
And he's another one that takes 6 years to get to the ring.
He also,
But
I'm
you
sure,
like
but
his
you-
entrance,
but
though.
you
Yeah,
love
it wasn't like
It's
Roman.
not a like, oh,
It's
hurry the fuck up.
ominous as fuck.
It's like,
you
oh,
know,
this is fucking
shit.
cool.
You got the
Music.
your
Yeah,
hair
no,
is probably
that's
standing
an
up.
experience.
And if you were there,
That's an
if you were in the
experience.
fucking
Fucker, I've
crowd,
missed
it
him
was
so many
probably.
Well, I used to make the joke. I had a nightmare that I had to fight The Undertaker. It took 3 nights before I got to the ring.
So my
Dead
number 2
man
and my
walking.
number 1 are going to be familiar because my number 2 is The Rock and my number 1 is Stone Cold. So
That's an easy
you
one.
know, I mean, it's a layup. You almost don't have to say
What?
why, but
Somehow I feel like those two are going to, make the cycle a few more times on each of our lists.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see them in those spots because The Rock, like you said, his mic
The Rock
presence.
says,
I feel like his wrestling. I don't ever remember The Rock being.
The
You
Rock's,
said he was a 7, right? In
the
wrestling.
Rock's not Shawn Michaels, but he was pretty good in the ring.
Yeah, he could do a lot. Like
Yeah.
I remember, he would go off the ropes. He
You
would
got to remember,
He did
Rock
out
is
of
like
that
He did the
DDT
out of the
thing.
ring shit. He could sell it.
Rock
Spin
is
around
6'5",
DDT.
275. He's a big.
That's true. He's fucking
we
huge.
don't realize,
And he's
like,
athletic as hell.
Stone Cold 6'2", The Rock is 6'5". He's a big fucking boy.
Yeah. No doubt.
he's
no
a big
doubt.
boy.
He's a big
And
boy.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Why is Stone? I think the question then becomes, why is Stone Cold number 1 over The Rock? I don't know. I could relate to what Stone Cold was saying on the mic more. The beer guzzling, the whole 9. I just
He related
He was
more
a
to the
spectacle.
loved
yeah.
that. And
The
And
Rock
he
was
was
a
like-
personality, but Stone Cold was a
Well,
spectacle.
Stone Cold was a personality too, but he related more to the everyday person. The blue collar worker
Yeah.
who couldn't stand their boss.
yep.
Goes home at
Fuck
night, drinks
you,
a
fucking
beer.
everybody off,
you know,
fucking
everybody
pound
off
of
the
beers.
beer, all
You
that
just-
But
shit.
and
What?
he even transcended that though. It was more than just the boss. It was if your
Anybody.
your dad's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's defying. It's
Correct.
like defying
For
your father.
kids.
It's defying your teachers
Correct.
who are assholes. Like it
And
was.
the thing I found out
defiance.
today is that the documentary that we watched of Rivals, till this day on WWE Shop, Stone Cold is still number 1 in merchandise sales.
Bro, you're right.
He
And
doesn't
can I
even
tell
wrestle.
You got the Mets shirt.
He's still number 1.
Damn it! I always never bring the shit that I
Bring
get.
it up. Plug it. You
So,
should have worn the fucking shirt.
I know. I fucking came straight from the gym. I had it laid out too. So it's funny you say that. I was thinking of you because they put up a one-time only special shirt
Nick's
for sale
Colors,
at
Madison
MSG.
Square Garden.
What is it? It's fucking New York 316 with
Yeah.
the flaming skull on the back, and I'm
Yeah.
like, 20 years later.
They're still selling
What's the
all
thing
Austin.
that
People are still
$35
buying.
shirt sold out. I went to go get mine, and people wanted to buy mine, and I was like, sorry, dude, like, nah.
Can I tell you something
Wow.
about that?
Yeah.
It's actually bullshit. It's not a one-time only because Gina went to a WWE event before Cody was injured, and they
They
had
had
that
those
same
shirts?
shirt.
That
Fox.
shirt's not anywhere to be found though. I looked it
You
up.
can't buy it. I
Probably
guess
nobody wants to
I
sell
guess
it.
it's
It's not
only
anywhere.
when there's a MSG event, maybe. Because
yeah,
that's
New
why I
York
got it.
event.
Yeah, it's fucking Knicks Mets fucking colors, and then the Mets beat the Yankees
Hell
fucking
yeah, they
twice
did.
already.
You're
And I
damn
was
right
like,
they did.
maybe I'm gonna have to burn this fucking shirt if it keeps going this way.
Let's go
but,
Mets.
I'll bring it. I'll wear it to the next one
Yeah,
because
at
it's
least
a
they-
cool. Yo,
Chicken C.
so yeah, to your point, Austin, still the merchandise seller. What do you see there? You see fucking Austin shirts. You know, that's just
By far the
that's
coolest
incredible.
merchandise of all time.
it's incredible.
Joe,
It's-
what's do we want to go to Joe or do we want to go to Rob next? for our
We're gonna go to
rating
me,
system?
then Robin. You'll finish this off.
All right.
So I got a list here, and it's a list I made a few years ago. And I'm going to kind of break it down the same way that Vin did. I'll start with number 10, and I'll give you the ratings that I gave each wrestler. So number 10 for me, no surprise here, is The Undertaker. So I would rate The Undertaker in the looks department a 10. There's nobody who, like I said, during the entrance, there's nobody who captivates you, draws your attention more than The Undertaker. While The Undertaker never had really the great merchandise that Stone Cold had, The Undertaker was smart enough to change his look with the times, and he evolved his character how many times from the American Badass to Big
I do
Evil,
love the purple gloves.
the purple gloves, the gray
Alternate
gloves. Then he
Undertaker
did
looks.
the Ministry where he was like gothic looking, and he had like a vampire look. I mean, The
Did his eyes
Undertaker,
with paint.
you just can't, like, there's nobody in the history of anything that looks like The Undertaker.
No.
He's a comic book character come to life. So
Definitely.
so looks by far, that's the That's the pedestal. He's by far a 10 in the look department. Promo skills, I gave him a 6. In his early days, he really didn't talk much. Paul Bearer was his mouthpiece.
Oh, yeah. He was great.
Rest in peace.
That was it. That was all
So, yeah, you wouldn't get a
was
whole lot
scary,
out of
you
him.
know?
Yeah.
He could talk, though. So when he became, like, the American Badass later in his career, he would, like, shed that Undertaker skin and he would cut a promo. But 6 is kind of like, I consider 6 above average.
Yeah.
Where 5 is your average and 10 is like you're the greatest of all time. 6 is you're an above average talker. You can sell yourself.
We saw some 5s and some 4s, so I know what you mean.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And then finally, his wrestling skills, I would give him an 8.
Yeah.
So he's not a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, but The Undertaker put on some great matches.
Fucking high boot.
If he
fucking
had
kick.
somebody to dance with, he can dance with anybody. He's
Yeah,
one of the
he made
greatest
him-
of all time.
He did
So-
that tightrope fucking move.
Athletic for a 6'10"
Yeah.
big man, jumps off the top of the ropes, jumps over the ropes.
He's
tight
gone
rope
over
walks.
the top.
He's crazy. I mean, he does stuff that
Him and
you
Shawn
wouldn't
Michaels had that match to it.
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
that was
think
good.
that someone that tall can do things like that.
Definitely not. Freakish.
So that makes him 24 points in total.
Okay.
So that's kind of where my list starts at. So the top 10, he equates for 24 points. The next thing is Randy Macho Man Savage. He's number 9. And I won't go into length on that, but I'll just give you a rundown of his score. I felt like the Macho Man's look was an 8, his promo was an 8, and his wrestling is an 8. And
Gotcha.
again, he equates to 24 points. So he and Taker are kind of interchangeable, but this is just a list.
Yep.
Number 7 is Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry, number 8 is Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan look, I would give him a 10. Again, the tan skin, the muscles, the red and yellow. Again, he's one of the top drawing merchandise sales of all time. Iconic NWO is still selling a fuck ton of merchandise these days. So, again, you can't give Hogan anything less than a 10. No one
You
looked
see that
like
Iron
him.
Sheik tweet where he says that Hulk Hogan's hairline has been in a recession for 40
Yes.
years?
Iron
Oh
Sheik
my
just-
God. She keeps
Iron
going.
Sheik just fucking hates Hulk
Never
Hogan.
stops.
He's
It's
just
great.
like, he hates
It's
Hulk
the
Hogan
kayfabe.
the way I hate Shawn Michaels.
It's a real kind of hate, right? It's not even.
Ironically
absolutely
enough,
hates him.
number 7 on my list is Shawn Michaels.
Oh, there you go.
So segue into
Number
that.
7. That's pretty
So-
good, bro. He's above. He put Shawn Michaels above the Undertaker.
And Hulk Hogan. So I
That's-
don't want to hear
that's
shit
respect.
from your fucking face.
That's respect if I've
So
ever heard it. He didn't-
Shawn Michaels, his look, I would give him a 7.
He's-
Shawn Michaels promo, I would give him an 8. And Shawn Michaels wrestling, I would give him a 10. And he accumulates to 25 points.
10 in wrestling.
10 in wrestling,
Wow.
for sure.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So that's how Shawn gets above Hulk and Macho and Taker. Number 6 is Ric Flair.
Wow.
Ric Flair.
Flair. There we go.
Ric Flair
Ric
has
Flair, baby.
Ric Flair has a match this Sunday. It's Ric Flair's last match. It might be his last day on Earth.
Could be.
Hopefully he doesn't croak on us.
Oh my
But
God. bro.
this guy
get this
is
guy.
just
Charlotte Flair literally had to stop him from wanting to do a spot where he jumps off the top
He's
turnbuckle outside the ring.
fuck-
And what's the
fucking
story
nuts.
behind this? Because there's a story there. He doesn't jump off the top, or he always gets
Every
interrupted.
time he goes on the top rope, he gets thrown off.
Yeah, he gets
He's
slammed
never
off the top.
successfully landed a
Never.
move
Ric
off
Flair
the
gets
top rope.
thrown off the top rope
That's like
outside the
when-
ring.
Nobody
you
wants to
die.
watch that. Nobody wants to watch him.
people are watching. They paid the tickets.
I
I'm
know,
telling
it's
you,
like-
sold
it's
out.
Because they
almost
want to
like-
they want to bear witness to his death. That's why.
Oh God.
Everybody that buys that ticket is the same person that would stand there when a train.
So wait,
wrecked.
Rick gets 10 on the mic.
So Ric Flair's look a 7.
Okay.
Didn't have the greatest body, but in terms of like iconic look, he came out with the robes.
Yeah.
You know, he came out
Nature
with the
boy.
glitz and the glamour.
The look has to encompass like the music and the
Well, the music they have
attire,
nothing really
right?
to do with it, but it's your entrance. It's
Yeah.
your
Part
whole.
of
It's
it.
your whole. You know,
Your
pizzazz.
presentation.
And then promo skills. This is where he is the optimum of greatness. Ric Flair's a 10 in promo, so there's nobody who
sense.
talked like the Nature Boy. Till this day, you have
Smack
rappers,
talk.
you have athletes mimicking his one-liners and his saying. We probably do it once a week, every week. You know, oldest ride, longest line. Woo! And
he's
Ric
got the
Flair in
raps.
wrestling, I would give him an 8. So again, he equals to 25 points. To wrap this up, we go top 5 now. Number 5 is Chris Jericho.
Wow.
Chris Jericho's look would be a 7, his promo
bad
would be a 9, and his wrestling would be a 9. So again,
Jericho,
he adds up to 25 points.
He was
Number 4, Kurt Angle.
I feel
so-
bad. I left a couple of guys off the list there. That
Yeah, it's all
got a
right.
lot of the yeah.
Kurt Angle's look a 7, his promo an 8, his wrestling is a 10. I mean, how do you fucking top an Olympic gold
An actual
medalist who
Olympic
won
gold medalist.
an
With a
Olympic
broken neck.
a broken freaking neck?
I saw the promo for him and Brock's thing on Sunday, and Brock was like
It's
talking
gonna be
about
good.
how he was like a kid and
Oh.
Angle won the gold medal
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was watching. He's like,
It was
I wanted
it was
to be
that guy.
him, and so that's I'm interested to watch that.
So that's a good plug. We're going to be live on YouTube Sunday. Our 4th episode, technically.
Technically, I'm
we,
sorry,
we
episode
missed
2 got
one,
lost.
but yeah, it's the 4th episode of WWE Rivals on A&E. So now we're in the top 3. So all 3 of these guys are interchangeable. They all equal to 26 points. And number 3 on my list is The Rock. The Rock's look, I would give him a 9. His promo skills, by far, is it.
Who's 4?
4 was Kurt Angle.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
Yeah. The Rock is number 3. Look is number 9. His promo skills, 10 off the charts, and his wrestling is a 7. That equals to 26
You
points.
smell what The Rock is cooking?
By far. I mean, The Rock gets quoted till this day.
Come on.
1 and 2. Number 2, Bret the Hitman Hart. I don't even have to mention that. Bret Hart's look is a 9, and I give it a 9 because while he wasn't the biggest in the ring, he wasn't the flashiest, I'm still buying Bret Hart stuff till this fucking day. I'm a 40-year-old man in a pink T-shirt and pink fucking shorts. I mean,
Even
Bret
he said
Hart-
like pink
Bret
wasn't
Hart's-
his favorite color. Well, actually, he said pink. He likes pink, and then he said it's because the Canadian flag is red and white.
You mix red
makes
and white,
pink.
you get pink.
And then he said, I just like fucking pink.
Yeah, it's like pink.
At work, it was iconic. It was
But no
better
one
than
wore
gold.
pink, so it was an original look.
Yeah.
Also, his attire, he wore a singlet with long pants. Like, no one looked like Bret Hart. He came out with a leather jacket and shades.
The
like,
slick
he
hair
wa-
and
yeah,
some
no one
wet-
looked like him. Till this day,
Badass.
he still is mimicked. He still is cosplayed. So Bret Hart's look has withstood the test of time. He's just had a really cool, iconic look. Great theme music, great entrance.
Yep.
Can I
and-
comment on the look thing? Him and Shawn actually kind of have a similar look. They
do.
both
The
wear
long
long
hair.
tights. They both have hearts on their tights.
Sure.
They both wear glasses. Bret wore his. Shawn wore the heart-shaped glasses.
Yeah, you want to wear real cool shades or heart-shaped glasses?
Well, Bret Hart's glasses were undoubtedly cooler.
Okay.
But but that's.
do you
like,
want to wear
what's
assless
true.
chaps or do you want to wear a
Again,
leather
it's a different
jacket?
type of guy.
Rob,
He
what
was-
are you wearing?
You
Not
wore an
only-
assless chap.
a
You never
jacket.
saw his bare ass.
You did see his bare ass
Well,
every time he
once.
wrestled. He pulled his pants down,
Oh,
and the girls would go, "Ah!"
Yeah, but that was
for the
like
ladies,
but
all
that
for the
was
ladies.
fucking every
Are
time
you gonna
little
let me
Joe
finish
in
my fucking list?
elementary school. How many
Oh,
kids
God.
did he
fucking night
moon?
with
Gotta
this
drag my
cocksucker.
cousin into this
He
now.
would, how many
Jesus
people
Christ.
has little Joe moon?
I'm not the one that said it. I didn't say
You're
anything
killing your,
about it.
Alright.
your
You know how
father,
much,
Larry.
You know how much fucking wait? What do you call it? You know how much collateral fucking debris I get from
I
Chris
love
and
it.
you, bro?
Are you gonna go
I'm-
off one day
I'm
because you've been
on.
talking shit all fucking week? You're like, once the camera
You gotta
goes
give-
on,
you
I
gotta-
don't go off.
I
I,
don't-
fucking freeze.
you gotta
well,
give me something.
unfucking freeze you right now.
I need
and
something
fucking let
that I
him
care
fucking
about.
have it.
I
You
gotta
need
get
to
some.
actually watch. I'll tell you where to start.
I need to really.
Can I
You need
finish
to
my
watch-
fucking list? Jesus
Very
Christ!
We will, but
You
I'm just
finish
saying
your list.
he needs to watch versus having the documentaries because those really don't give you the full picture.
The guy
It's
doesn't
getting
have time
me
to
in,
take a
it's
shit.
getting
You
me
want him to
in,
watch
we'll
all
get
this
you
shit.
there.
What
You'll
are you
get
talking
there.
about? I was literally. I came onto the show. I couldn't give a fuck
You've
less.
come a long way.
Now you
You've
know.
come
hey,
a long
I'm
way,
in.
but we
It's
need to get you
fine.
actually watching
I'm just
the
always
Peacock
getting
app.
yelled at.
All right.
Go
Bret
on.
Hart number 2, number 1. No surprise. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Fucking A.
All right.
What?
Look, number 9. Promo is a 10,
10,
and his wrestling is a 7. He
Fucking
equates to 26 points. He's the top wrestler of all time.
Yeah,
Rob,
it's-
your list,
All right, here we go.
motherfucker.
I'm not going to be Mr. Details over
No,
here.
just
so-
go.
Hey,
Just
you
run
hit
us
us
from
with it,
10 to
Bo.
1. Give me
All
10
right.
to 1.
So number 10's Mick Foley. How could
Nice.
you not have Mick Foley on your list? I mean,
Love
the
you,
man,
Mick.
he's a fucking legend. Number 9, who hasn't been mentioned yet, is Bruno Sammartino.
Wow.
Bruno
yeah, there you go.
Sammartino was a fucking champion of champions. He was the Italians champion.
87th consecutive sellouts at Madison Square Garden.
He has the world
That's it.
record.
Can't beat. Yeah, you get.
Him and Vince McMahon both have records there.
Wow, McMahon, really?
Yeah, because he did the most promotions there.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
Number 8, we're gonna go with Roddy Piper, and Roddy Piper
That's a
was
great-
another one
that's
that
a
was
great-
great on the mic, and then he
10,
had the
10 on the
Piper's
mic.
Pit.
10 on the mic.
He was a legend.
Probably
And-
the most quick-witted wrestler we've ever had in the history of wrestling.
Really? Yeah.
Just sharp. Razor
and he had a great
sharp.
movie too. They Live.
Oh,
They Live is a
fucking-
classic.
I have to watch
Him and
that,
Keith
actually.
David.
That's,
It's a
that's like
fucking
the
great
future.
Come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
I'm all
And
out of
all
bubble
out
gum.
of bubble gum.
I'm gonna rip
That's when he
off your
puts on
head
the-
and shit
Is
down
that
your
when he puts
neck.
on the glasses and he can see like what's
You
really
don't throw
behind
rocks at a
everything?
man that's got a machine gun.
Yeah, I gotta
Yep.
fucking watch it.
Yep.
I've been itching to watch
The
that
Roddy
one.
Piper doc on A&E is great from
Is
last
it?
year.
Okay,
That's
I'll
on
check
the
that.
app.
And CJ got to meet him and drink some beers with him and talk about his
Oh,
match. And
man.
That's cool. He's just retired right now, right? That's
Piper's passed.
he passed.
Piper passed away.
So
yeah,
he
years
passed
ago.
to Ronda. I'm sorry. He like
Yeah.
allowed
Yeah.
Ronda to.
So Ronda got the jacket from his wife, who, during Ronda's stint in UFC,
Yeah.
she actually called Roddy up and asked him if it's okay that she refers to herself as Rowdy Ronda Rousey. And Piper said, yeah, go for it. I would love that.
Wow, that's
So
really
she
cool.
honors him by using his name.
And he was
very
great
good.
on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
She was on that. She
Yeah.
did come out real quick, threw a quick beating,
Yeah.
and ran in the back.
Go ahead, Robbie, baby.
All right, so next up, number 7, your boy, Bret Hart.
It's my boy.
7.
He wasn't even on your list
He makes-
before.
Bret Hart?
Yes,
Well,
are you going to chime in every time somebody says
He
Bret
wasn't
Hart?
on his.
I
You
was here
heard
for
him.
3 weeks.
You
There's
remarked.
only one table
Joe,
stopping
you
me from
said-
grabbing your skinny ass
You
and
said,
fucking
you son of a
breaking your
bitch.
back in the
You
sharpshooter,
were complaining
motherless
before
fuck.
that Bret wasn't even on his list. Now he's on his list.
No,
He's
What
on
happened?
the list because I had an honorable mention, and they're not part of my list because we said we're going to do one in the future
Of a tag
for
team.
tag teams,
Right.
Because I had
had
Hawk
to
and
fill a
Animal
slot.
from Legion of Doom in the slot for 7. But
telling
I'm
me
not
Bret
allowed
Hart's
to
not a
have 2
top 10
people at
all-time
once.
wrestler?
They're not
No,
supposed
I'm
to be a
not saying
tag
he wasn't on
team.
his list at
And the
first.
Legion of Doom was a force together. You couldn't have Hawk without Animal or Animal without Hawk. You had to have them
teasing.
two.
Let
both
the
of them,
people give their
with the
lists.
fucking spike shoulders and shit. I used to
can't-
love watching.
I didn't
them
tell
come
him
Sit
not
here on
to. I'm
PlayStation.
just
But
saying
you
what
fucking
happened.
cut everybody
Good
off.
thing
Let
Joe
them give them
doesn't
What
have
is this?
PlayStation.
An impermeable conversation? It's
All
a
right,
fucking
ladies, settle down.
podcast
Number
round
6.
table. The fuck?
Number 6, Andre the Giant.
All right, that's 2.
Don't even have to explain that. Andre the Giant is a fucking absolute legend.
Yeah.
And it's really a heartbreaking story. I've seen his
Sure.
documentaries
It is,
and
it
stuff.
is.
He really
It's-
it's
Made
a
me
sin.
cry.
That's before everything really took off, and they could take
Yeah,
care
yeah.
of the people.
If only I wish that Andre knew how loved he is, to this day. He really was like. I mean, if you want to attribute the WWE to a circus attraction, he was the fucking master of ceremony. He was
Oh, without a doubt.
number one.
Without a doubt.
You know what I mean? Number 5.
But his mic skills probably suck.
Can you smell
If you smell
what the Rock is
Is it
cooking?
If you smell.
Okay. But he's
Can you...
when did
Do
he
you-
say
Oh, you mean
Do
his
you
entrance?
smell-
Yeah, yeah.
If you smell.
Okay.
And then when he says it, he's can you smell? Or do
Okay.
you smell what the
Or
rock
do
is
you,
cooking?
yeah.
Do you smell what
He
the
says
rock
all that
is-
shit.
Yeah, he has a couple
There's a
different.
lot of smells there.
It'd be funny to actually know what he's cooking right now. You think he's making some meatloaf or something?
Nah, he's
Pancakes.
he's crushing.
The Rock
banana
makes
That's
pancakes.
actually
Pancakes.
exactly what the From the
No, you
Dungeon
know what he's
podcast
drinking? Some
said.
Terramana.
What
He's
From the
drinking
Dungeon
some
podcast said
Killing
The
it.
Rock is cooking meatloaf.
All right.
meatloaf.
And you
I
just
would,
said
Nailed
that.
it.
I would do
Unknowing.
anything for lunch, but I won't do
But
that.
I won't do that.
Another one we lost.
All right, Rob, you're in your top 5 here. This is
All
getting
right.
down to nitty gritty here.
All right, so number 4. What?
What?
Stone
What?
Cold Steve Austin.
Hell yeah.
How many
Fucking
beers?
4?
And now,
What? 5?
I wasn't as methodical as Joe with breaking down numbers
It's Joe.
and
He
shit
spent
like
time
that.
doing this, but we
did.
put this
I just put together a list of
he
some
was
of my
ready for
favorite
the-
wrestlers
He had
of all
this ready for a
time.
couple years,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
Number 3, of course. Yeah, the Macho Man, tuatendo do cold. And
Great.
next up, top 2, of course, I have to give it to my boy Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter's number 2 for
Good
me.
guy.
And the reason why he's not number 1 and he's number 2 for me is because as a little kid, I actually didn't realize he was a wrestler because he wasn't signed with wrestling and he hadn't been doing wrestling much.
Right.
And I wasn't really watching it like that. But when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I discovered in my attic a box of my brother's G.I. Joes from the 80s.
G.I.
when I was a
Joe.
kid. And it was all the toys that he had from the 80s. And he had gone through the steps to, get the mail-in Sergeant Slaughter figure. So I had the original one with the USA and the black pants with the G.I. Joe stripe down the sides.
The fucking LJN
And
right there.
not even
The
that one.
$900 figure on the desk.
Well, that one, that one's the LJN one. That was the later mail away.
Oh,
but this
okay.
one was the 3 3/4 inch actual GI Joe action figure,
Gotcha.
and it was cool because you had to fill out the little form. You had to get a certain amount of proofs of purchase, and then there was a phone number you had to call, and Sarge would tell you on the phone what the code is to write on the
Listen,
thing,
maggot.
and you got to mail it out and basically earn your Sergeant Slaughter figure.
You gotta pray to
But he
God when you send
really
that away.
stood out from all the GI Joe figures
Yeah.
that I had. He had bigger muscles than
Yeah.
all the other GI Joes. His outfit was cool.
Yep.
The sunglasses,
The whistle.
the attitude,
stick.
the hat, the whole nine. It was just a cool fucking toy, and he was hands down my favorite GI Joe figure. And then later on in my life, when the internet started becoming a thing, I found out he was a wrestler too. Discovered his entire career, and then I became a whole separate fan to his wrestling career.
Gotcha.
But
So
that's
it's
why
G.I.
Sergeant
Joe
Slaughter falls in
first.
number 2. But number 1 in my book, I mean, say what you want about him behind the cameras and him as a person, but Hulk Hogan was my number one favorite wrestler as a kid.
We would be not having this conversation
If you
without
asked
him.
5-year-old Rob, who's your favorite wrestler? Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, hands down, no question.
Brother.
I had this guy when I was a kid, and then I destroyed the one that I had when I was a kid, but I ended up finding this one on eBay.
Great shape.
But I'm really happy because I got him and Macho Man together. So
now we got to get
they're
Hulk
actually
Animal
original
next.
brothers from whatever
that'd
household
be
they
funny.
came
I
from,
was saying,
and they traveled to me.
They're probably mine.
What if they had Bret and fucking Shawn?
They didn't make Bret and Shawn like
They
that.
should. Why the fuck don't they?
Oh,
make
actually, they
these
did,
things?
but a WCW version of Bret. So they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that shit
that was
up.
part of the one that Diamond Dallas Page and
Correct.
NWO
Hollywood Hogan.
Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
and Randy Savage.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's
And they
fucking
squeeze their nose, and be like, "Oh,
Maybe-
my nose!"
maybe
punch
we'll
him
get
in
the
stomach.
Bret,
Oh my God.
That'd be fucking.
I
good.
had the
Gotta
DDP from
find
that
it.
line.
Yeah. They talked too, didn't they? Have
Yeah,
like a
yeah. He used to say,
Remember-
"Oh my gut."
God.
It was great.
All right, here we go. The moment we've been waiting for.
Chris
Should I
Hilda,
have-
baby.
Should I
Yeah, Chris
stand
is
up?
like, I'm
Should
not
I
telling
take a break?
anybody
Like, what should I do?
Well, now you guys aren't allowed to comment or interrupt
can't speak.
whatsoever.
We're gonna
Oh,
interrupt
God
every
forbid
single
I
Three of
do.
us are going to
Jesus.
comment on
God
every time
forbid,
you fucking
anytime
talk.
I mention Shawn Michaels, I'm
Cocksucker.
interrupted. He's a piece of shit. But if I interrupt, it's a problem. You cocksuckers. All right, no, but in all seriousness, this is not.
Are you going to go from 10 to 1?
I'm gonna go to 10 from 10 to 1. This is not a favorites list. This is
not, it's
trying
correct.
to use
Objective.
your.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Shawn Michaels would have never made my list.
See, it's
Because
funny
he's a
you
piece
say
of
that.
shit.
I'm trying to use your measurement system.
Scaling.
So
Okay. Nice.
that's
Well, it's not
that's
my
what I used
measurement
here.
system. It's Bret Hart's
This
measurement
isn't.
system.
This also isn't necessarily taking into account like drawing power. Obviously, Hulk Hogan has the highest, or
well,
Stone
drawing
Cold.
power is a part of look. That's how
Sure,
you,
it's
you
part
draw.
of it, but
why you
that's the
tune
thing.
in.
It's part of look. It's
Okay.
not, So number 10. This is gonna be one that you're probably gonna be like, huh? But William Regal. William Regal, I'm putting in the top fucking 10. And there's probably people out there telling me to
Joe's
go
face.
fuck myself, but go fuck yourself.
Joe's face
Because
is
William
great.
Regal is incredibly talented. As far as looks go,
you
I
guys
give him
can't
a
see Joe's
7
face.
because that's part of his whole appearance. The faces that he would make are unparalleled.
I'm sorry, I got
There's
it.
nobody that could do the facial expressions that William Regal did.
You got no argument from me on that.
Part of his look, the British thing. There weren't really that many British villains, but he definitely pulled that off.
So when I do promo skills, real quick, like I look at that as: are you someone who can make the audience hate you, love you, boo you, cheer
Laugh.
you, laugh, and cry?
Right. And
He-
William
he
Regal,
checks off all the boxes.
he checks all. I mean, I don't know if he's ever made me cry, but all the other things for sure.
Is this him there?
That is William Regal. Yes, he is a phenomenal bad guy. He was a great. He defined.
But we're talking top 10 all time out of hundreds of
He
thousands
deserves
of
that
wrestlers.
respect. He's phenomenal
All right.
on the mic.
It's
He's
your, it's your list.
and I'm
not
also
gonna
going
be,
with
I'm not
score.
going to be you. I'm going to be better than you.
William
and I'm not
Regal
gonna-
deserves that respect.
Looks
and
like
if you
he's
don't
all
think he
elite right
does,
now.
then I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
right,
he had a
number
great
10.
long career, and he's
fine.
overlooked by a lot of other people, but he is a
Fine.
phenomenal
You would make
villain.
my top 10 overlooked
Chris is
list.
a voice for the voiceless.
Oh, William Regal is fucking great. You wouldn't
I
know
d-
because
I
you
don't
don't
know.
watch.
I
If
don't
you
know.
watch
No
it,
idea.
you'll see.
Vin,
Holy
please.
shit, this
You're
guy.
getting-
Having
I'm
gone
getting
Vin's
back,
face
yelled
is
at
getting
over
redder
this.
and redder.
having
I'm just
gone
telling
back
you right
and rewatched all this shit for the past few years now with my girlfriend,
All right.
William Regal definitely steals the show. He's a big
Okay.
part of the Attitude Era.
Okay.
Number 9, we're going with Mick Foley. We
Okay.
give him a look 7, Mike 10. Because Mick Foley definitely, you can't. Are you gonna say he's not a 10 on the mic?
9. I gave him a
He's
9.
Very clever. Yeah, I mean 9's fine. But
Chris is just argumentative in his delivery.
That's
but
fine.
Period.
Just keep going.
it's fine.
I want to
Yelling
be
at us.
respectful.
We're going
Chris,
down the list. Got a problem with my tone. That's
Your
how I
tone
speak. What do you
sucks,
want?
tone.
actually.
I'm
And-
bound
and
up
what's
because
Mick-
yelling at
you
everybody.
gave Joe Bret Hart. You did it for Joe.
No, he did
That's
not.
bullshit.
There
You know
is
way
not
more about
person
Joe.
alive who would not
wait,
put Bret
it's my
Hart in
turn.
their
It's
top
my
10.
turn. You
How
guys
do
are
you not put Bret
interrupting.
Any
Hart on the
wrestling
list?
fan who doesn't
Cocksuckers.
put Bret Hart
It's my
in their
turn.
top 10 all time is
All
a
right.
fucking fuck to the
know,
gods.
even
All
if
right.
you don't know wrestling, you know Bret Hart. That's
Thank
the thing,
you.
though.
Sure.
That's why he would be on that list.
You don't even know
For
who William
someone
Regal
who
is.
openly
He had
admits
to
they don't know
fucking
what the
just
fuck they're
Google
talking
him
about.
right now because you have no idea who William
I
Regal
didn't
is.
Here's
take-
me.
I'm
That
using
means
your
top 10.
scoring
No
system.
problem, no problem,
I'm
no
using
problem.
your scoring system.
No problem.
All
What's
right.
Mick
William
Foley's
Regal.
wrestling?
All
Let me
right,
hear.
so let me continue here.
Continue, please.
William Regal. If you
I'm
watched,
sweating.
you would
Who
know.
put- who
And
put on the
he's
list?
still fucking killing it on AEW.
Over all the people we named?
I'm sweating.
Sure, over a
crazy.
couple of them, he
Who?
deserves a fucking place at the table.
Who?
William Regal.
Who? What are you, a fucking
So
owl?
I'm William
Paying
Regal?
attention?
Over Sergeant Slaughter?
They won't let me continue.
I'm
Over
letting him
Sergeant
continue.
Cocksuckers.
Over
All right.
Sergeant Slaughter?
William Regal.
William Regal over Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, let him finish his list. This is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's going on here? So
What's
Mick
Mick Foley's
Mick
wrestling?
Foley, look 7, Mike 10,
Okay.
athleticism 7, and honestly, he lost
Aggressive.
points in athleticism because he fucking has taken a beating so much that he was never really able to run around, jump
I didn't
off
have
the
that
turnbuckle.
as it was ring work, not athleticism.
Well, that's what I kind
So
of.
can he put on a good match? The answer is yes.
Oh,
Mick Foley
100%.
puts on great
But the
matches.
problem is that he was
He's not
definitely
technically
Thank you from
sound,
the
but he
dungeon.
still
He
has
is crazy.
You know.
he burned himself out faster than he could have because of how much he would dedicate his body.
That's a good point.
The body.
So, you know,
Nobody
he's
had
definitely up
Jesse
there.
the body on their list.
He's definitely up there.
So you're up to number 8.
Number 8 is going to be Ric Flair.
Okay.
Looks 8.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, you know, for everything that's been said, Mike an 8. And the reason I didn't give him a 10 is because there's been a lot of Ric Flair promos where you have no idea what the fuck he's saying.
You knew what Macho Man was saying in the 80s?
Sometimes it didn't. That's why he would lose a point or two. Look,
freak out!
I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of Nitro rewatches, and there are times that Ric Flair is in the ring and he's just flying
you
around.
really want to get heat for this. Like, you're really...
What? He's
So
in
you
the top
just
10.
want our audience to just come down on you. And honestly, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear next week like, oh, these people fucking hate me and they're chastising me. And I'm the
I
fucking
gave him
hater
an
one of the
eight.
show.
Making a
I'm
statement.
just telling
How
you.
is that? He lost points because
all right.
a lot of times, if
Okay.
you rewatch Nitro, you'll
problem.
see his fucking promos are babbling and incoherent.
Ric Flair put more S's in seats based off how he talked than almost anybody in the
100%.
business.
And he got an 8. That's pretty
All right.
fucking high.
Eight
He's in the
is
top
great.
10 of
Eight
all
is-
time.
Are we
Eight is-
even giving 10s? Are you giving anybody a 10 for Mike?
Sure. I'm
Yeah, The
working my
Rock,
way up
Stone
there.
Cold,
Okay,
Roddy
okay.
Piper,
I'm only-
Ric Flair.
look,
Okay.
I gave all those
I'm
guys
being
10s on
honest
the
here.
It's objective.
He
It's
only
subjective.
lost a few points because
Fine.
there have been, especially when he was more older.
So
in
we're at
W-
16 points.
I'm
8,
going
8.
over a
Give me the last one.
Well, so I'm just saying
He's
though
giving
too.
the-
I'm going
over
over
the
a
course
span
of
of a
his
career.
history.
So
Okay.
this
Which
also
is still now, like we just
He's
watched the
73. You're
latest
going to rate him
promo.
tomorrow night?
right.
How does that
You're gonna-
promo
Well,
rate?
that's the thing. We're talking averaging out
But he's
over
73. He just sold out a fucking another building at 73 years old.
100%.
That's crazy.
But that also ties in with the athleticism or ring work thing
Okay.
because when he was young Ric Flair, you can't say he wasn't probably
What'd you
a
give him
10
on that?
going with Ricky Steamboat.
You gave him a 10?
For athleticism, I gave him an 8 because
so
I'm
he's
averaging
24
out
points.
when he's older and he's slower.
That's a great score.
You know,
That's
I think I'm
great
being
score.
fair. 888. He's
I-
number
I-
8 on the list. Ric Flair 24.
Okay.
Right. Again, this isn't my favorite. This
Right.
isn't draw.
Who you
this
feel
isn't
is the
who-
top?
So let's get there.
Like William
Above
Regal.
Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan, I'm gonna give a look the 10.
Yep. Agreed.
The Mike the 10.
Yep.
And athleticism 6
So he's 26
because
points.
he couldn't do a lot of. He didn't really, you
He
know.
had the same thing over and over. He does the three
Sure,
punches,
and it worked.
He hulks
You got
up.
no-
He does 3 punches.
Right, and
he
it
does
worked.
an
Argument
Irish
for me.
whip with a big boot
Hulk
and
Hogan
an leg
was
drop.
selling
Right.
like with his facial expressions,
Exactly.
but not with his body. Like
That's
Mick
all he
Foley
needed
would.
to
like
do.
Goldberg
They're
put
the
him in
act-
that fucking vertical
Yeah.
drop, bro. That was
He's obviously fucking got the biggest arms and he's jacked and all
Sure.
that stuff, but he did as far as ring
That's
work.
a great score for Hulk.
That's not a
That's
criticism,
great score
that
for
he
Hulk.
didn't need to be
No.
at a 10 for in ring
Not
work.
everyone's going to be a 10.
Right.
I agree with
so he's at number 7 there.
Okay.
At number 6, I'm going with The Rock.
Okay.
Rock gets a 9 for look, 10 on the mic,
Yep.
and athleticism an 8.
Okay.
And that's a 27. And
Okay.
actually, the next 2 people above him all also scored 27.
So it's a pick 'em.
It's a pick'em who for certain reasons, right?
I like the way you think so
so
far.
The
I
Rock.
didn't get the
Other than
opportunity
William
to do
Regal,
that.
but just keep going. Yeah.
I'm
I
going
didn't
with
get the
Joe's
opportunity to
scoring
do that.
system. I'm trying to be stick to his
That's how it
thing.
would have been
nailing
with Bret
it.
and Shawn on
He's
my list.
nailing it on the scoring
Yeah,
sheet,
well.
but not on William Regal. Keep going.
So William Regal deserves a place at the table.
Sorry,
man.
gotta watch
you're in
some
your
of this
top 5 now.
fundamental-
We're in the top 5
As far
here.
as my respect, that's what
I
goes.
got you. But I thought it wasn't your favorite, but it was an all-time list.
It is. It's
No, it's by saying it's my
It's
respect.
obviously gonna have my slant on
Oh,
it,
slant,
but
all
he
right,
deserves a place at the
I
table.
got you. Got to place it. There we go.
So, yeah. Top
Top 5.
We have The Rock, look 9, Mike 10, athleticism 8. That's a
Okay.
27.
Great.
Above The Rock, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the list. Shawn Michaels, not number 1 because he's not my absolute favorite. He was my favorite when I was a child. But I'm gonna give a look 10. He's got the looks. He's sexy. He's got the moves. Shawn Michaels on the mic, I'd say an 8. He was always pretty good. He was able to tell the story. But I'm not gonna give him a 10. And athleticism a 9. I mean, Shawn Michaels in ring work, could be a 10, but I'll give him a 9. What did you give his ring work?
10.
Oh, okay, so wait,
They
9.
gave his look a 7.
I mean, you can't deny the look.
How many Shawn Michaels shirts do you own?
My girlfriend's got a couple.
That's right. Point
She's his
taken.
boy.
So there you go.
But
Yeah,
hey, but hey,
I got
listen,
no
listen,
problem
How
with
many,
that.
how many
Never
18
argue-
Smoking hot
35-year-old
and
males
never-
have Shawn Michaels shirts?
Never argue with who buys more merch, men or women, because women always buy more shit.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
fine.
I wouldn't buy a Shawn Michaels shirt. But
Why not?
I wouldn't buy. There's a lot of shirts I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't buy a Bret Hart shirt.
Got him.
A fucking, like the only shirt I'm really
Depends
buying
on
is
the Bret
Austin.
Hart shirt.
The Bret Hart, the one
know.
you got, well, the one he ended up giving to me is great because it's that.
Again-
what's that brand?
Roots of Fight.
It's a fight. It's a good one.
Okay.
I mean, Shawn Michaels.
Are they all
Again,
interchangeable? We
great
saying The
look.
Rock, Shawn Michaels
Again,
interchangeable too.
they got
So
the same score, right?
above Shawn Michaels at number 4 on the list, tied with The Rock as well, and Shawn Michaels with a 27 score. Triple H. I'm putting Triple H above both of them because Triple H is one of the greatest villains of all time. He's got a fucking storied career. He wasn't on any of your lists. Triple H
Voice for the voiceless.
was a huge part of the Attitude Era. Maybe number 3.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Behind Stone Cold and The Rock.
I'd be number 3 too if I was fucking the boss's daughter.
He was Triple
better
H
than
before
that.
he was with the boss's daughter. And as
not
JR
quite.
will say, how are you going to judge a man for who he fell in love with? Come on. So what? They're fucking married and have kids together.
Not gonna say anything else.
He didn't. No, Triple H
What's
was
the,
Triple H
scoring on
before
him?
he was with
Let
Stephanie.
me hear his score.
His
Hunter.
score, I say, look at 10. Triple H. Everybody who doesn't know who the fuck Triple
He
H
wears
is.
generic black underwear. What are you talking about?
He fucking has the Viking. He's fucking
I remember.
jacked.
I do
his
remember.
physique.
I remember.
The
Triple
Hammer
H
was
is
the
one of the
most
most jacked
memorable
fucking
thing about
guys to
his
step
entrance.
into the ring. His look is fucking great. He's the fucking. He wasn't even on any of your lists, which is a
know.
fucking tragedy.
You know who else wasn't
Well,
on
I
our
would-
list? William Regal.
Oh, yeah.
I would say there's
good
definitely
friends.
some names that would.
Triple
fall-
H was a bad guy. You guys don't have enough bad guys on the list.
I would say-
How many bad guys you got on your list?
Shawn Michaels.
Exactly. Bad guys get overlooked for these top tens, but
Macho
Triple
Man was a
H,
heel for
Everybody's
most of
healed
the-
and
the-
told.
Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
his
There's a
impact
top
on the
25
business.
list that's
Absolutely.
you know what I mean.
That's
There's
why this
more.
is top 10. This is not top 25, top 50. I gave you a top 50, and there's top 50.
Joe
so
did
Triple
put
H
in
is
the
on
work.
my
If you
top
want a
50.
top 50.
He's on there, but he ain't top 10. Sorry. Keep
Hunter
going.
Hearst Helms. I remember his original.
So
look,
clearly,
'cause he
Bret
was
the
like-
Hitman Hart is not making the top 10 on Chris's list, and we're gonna have a fucking real fucking
So,
problem in about 10
Number
minutes.
4 is Triple H, tied with Shawn
So
and
wait,
The
does
Rock.
that mean Bret doesn't get onto the final top 10?
Well,
No.
3 of us made it.
William Regal won't. So
not.
That's for sure.
number 3.
You can't even compare.
Hey, it's my turn. Let me finish. Don't interrupt. Don't say anything. Listen to me speak. I have the mic. It's an
no.
impermeable conversation.
Only when the name Bret Hart is uttered. If the name
So let's
Bret
talk about
Hart
something else.
Let me finish. Let me do my list. Let me finish.
So Vince, San
Cocksuckers.
Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah, it is. Marvel shit.
He wasn't even on Rob's list. You guilt tripped him and threatened him to put him on a list. He wasn't. He even said he's not on the list. He said no. He didn't give a
No, he
shit
gave
about
the
Bret.
options.
He shoehorned him in. He
Rob's-
wasn't on your list,
hold
and
on.
somehow he got the number 7.
How could he not be on Rob's list? Rob spent $300 to go see him.
He wasn't on his list. Before the show started, he was not on the list.
He was only on that on the
You
list because they ran
convinced
out of
him to
spaces.
take him off.
He would have been what, number
Cocksuckers.
11?
So
Yeah, pretty
number
much.
3.
If you had
We're
the
getting the
tag
top
teams.
3. Number 3,
William Regal's
Undertaker. William
Oh,
Regal's
that's
son is wrestling.
son.
Number 2, Kurt Angle. Number 1, Stone Cold. There, I did
Number
it for you.
3, Undertaker. Look 10, Mike. I should have said 8. I put 9, but I kind of
9?
well.
The Undertaker?
For what?
I
You
mean,
said the
all he needs
the
to do-
Undertaker has a 9 and Ric Flair is an 8. You think the Undertaker
That's why
talks better than Ric
I
Flair?
just prefaced
Wait,
it
wait.
by saying I should have given him an 8. I should have given him
Mike,
an 8. Is what
for
I said.
Mike or for. wait.
Well,
Say
but
this
I
again.
look at that like it's part of
Joe,
know.
get me a water.
All he needed to do was
me a
the
beer.
rest in peace.
great mic skill right there.
So Undertaker's mic skills are higher than Ric Flair's?
No, that's what. Well, they would be tied because I said I gave it a 9. I should give it an 8. It was meant, it should have been an 8.
I'm confused.
Oh my
Undertaker
God.
wasn't good on the mic, though. I mean,
Well, but that's the thing is then if I give him less on the mic, then that means he falls underneath Triple H and Shawn Michaels with this point structure, which I'm not going to do. But I'm not going to do that because the Undertaker is higher ranked than them.
The room. So we're gonna need Joe. I'm gonna have Joe sit down. We still have,
Cry baby.
we are still
Fucking-
wow. We are
All right.
approaching
Number 2.
commercial break.
Number 2.
Fucking guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave him an 8 instead of a 9 on a fucking overcomplicated fucking scale that I'm trying to abide by as best as I can. He
3
still
points.
falls into number 3. So there you go.
Who's your number one?
Number 2
Oh, number 2.
is Stone Cold.
What?
Is number 2.
What?
Yeah.
Number 2 is if Kurt
Look
Angle.
9. Because if you look at Stone Cold, he's got the badass
So
look.
this is
but
Chris's
he's
favorite wrestlers, top 10.
This is my favorite wrestler. I love Stone Cold.
Thank you, Vin. I love
Alright,
you.
I'm just
He is
saying.
my favorite.
We,
Vin,
but
you're,
no,
my,
we
you're in
prefaced-
my,
Somebody
Vin,
else
you're-
put him at number
Vin, You're
2.
in my top
We
10. I
prefaced-
just want
Wait,
you to
wait,
know.
wait, wait. Didn't Rob
prefaced-
put him in second
We
place?
prefaced the list with.
I put him in 4th.
I thought the
You
whole
put him in
thing's-
4th place.
Stone Cold.
So why am I getting shit for putting Stone Cold at 2?
No.
I don't understand.
It was just that Kurt Angle's going to be number 1.
Well, fucking yeah, spoil it for me. Yeah, Kurt Angle is number 1 because look,
And I just mean to say, we were
cocksuckers
talking
taking
about
all
this-
the air.
Kurt
You
Angle
bitched
number
about me
1.
interrupting you,
I'll
and
say
you
nothing.
cocksuckers won't let me fucking finish
Chris
without
keeps
crying.
yelling.
You'll say no to
Chris
me.
Yeah,
keeps
I'm
yelling.
yelling
I'm
because I
gonna
gotta
start
fucking
yelling.
yell. I gotta
Chris
defend
knows
myself
You
here.
don't
but
want
come
me
on,
to
Kurt
start
Angle,
yelling.
really?
'Cause that's
Fucking
He's
He's
not
really
great, but like he's not number
having
1.
fun.
ever.
Who? Kurt
Kurt
Angle?
Angle?
Okay, let's get to that in a second.
Yeah.
The only reason Stone Cold's getting a look 9 is because if you look at Stone Cold, he's not, I don't know.
I gave him the same score.
There's
look
guys
9.
with a better look than Stone Cold.
I
He's
gave Austin a look 9 too.
basic black trunks, he's badass,
but he sells more merchandise
Mike-
than God.
Exactly. Mike, obviously 10, and athleticism, I gave Austin a 9, mostly because he couldn't go as hard as he would have, before his injuries, between his neck and between his knees. He had to wear the braces. Stone Cold also didn't, he wasn't able to wrestle for as long as a lot of other guys. His run with WWF was how many years?
He was supernova.
96 to
He was-
2003.
Yeah.
It was
You know,
like
so.
a 10-year. Yeah. I don't know.
So, I mean, yeah, that's why Stone Cold gets 29, second place. And, yeah, Kurt Angle, with this scoring system, gets a 30 score.
Hey,
as
Kurt
far as
Angle was
look goes,
Kurt Angle's
he's...
number 4 on my list. I'm not
Yeah,
disagreeing
as
with that.
far as look goes, Kurt Angle had... How can you say he doesn't have the look? He nails the American hero. He's a good-looking, all-American-looking guy.
I
He's
gave
got
Stone
the blue
Cold Wrestling a
eyes.
7, so just for clarity.
Sure. He's got... he's fucking the gold medals. On the mic, Kurt Angle is definitely a fucking 10 on the mic.
I gave him a 9.
Rewatch the Attitude Era. He steals the show every fucking night.
More than
And when Stone Cold is a bad guy...
Higher than The Rock and Stone Cold.
I gave him a 9. I think 9 is like you're one of the best.
Well, The
but you're
Rock-
not
I'm just saying.
The Rock
GOAT.
got a 10 on the mic.
Okay.
So he's tied with The Rock as far as on the mic.
But better than Ric Flair, Kurt Angle.
On the mic, again, rewatch Nitro in the late 90s.
You know how
Ric
much
Flair will
wrestling
go
I've
out.
watched in my lifetime?
Then watch it now. How can you tell me Ric Flair goes out and you don't even know what the fuck he's saying? I'll listen to it on the podcast and they're laughing because they're like, what was that? His own son-in-law, Conrad, will say, I don't know what the fuck he just said, but it was great. It was entertaining, but he just goes out and babbles sometimes. That's just the reality.
So Kurt
I
Angle
didn't
obviously
say
is a 10 in athleticism. There's no doubt about
And
that.
then he's an Olympic gold medalist,
No, I'm not disagreeing that.
which really transcends all things.
So he
and
comes
also,
out to what, 28 points? Is what
Kurt
you have?
Angle's wrestling career too was pretty long.
30 points? You gave Kurt Angle a perfect 30?
Give Kurt Angle a perfect 30.
I think I have to get
You
up
can't
again.
take. Are you gonna?
I have to
Okay,
see
so
that.
you're gonna say he's not a 10 on the mic?
No, he's not.
Kurt
He's
Angle's
a,
not.
he's a
Every
9.
segment
It's like
he
an 8 or
was in,
9.
he
He's
stole.
a 9.
Yeah, that's a matter of
I
opinion.
wouldn't even give his look a 10.
I would definitely
The
not
reason
give
I
his
don't
look
give
a
his
Kurt
10.
look
Angle's
a
look-
10 is because it's
I would give him an 8
it's a
to
generic
a 9.
look of
His
like,
look was an
hey,
8
I
in my
look
book.
like
I don't know.
I wrestle. You know,
Kurt
His
Angle
look is an
nailed-
8, his mic is a
Yeah.
9, his wrestling
I
is a
don't-
10.
But
I don't,
his
I don't see
character-
anything about what I would want.
27
from
points is
Kurt
high,
Angle's,
man. That's a lot.
uh,
Nobody gets perfect 30s.
I think Kurt Angle
merchandise wise.
had-
you know,
a better wrestling. Not as far when you take all things into account.
So
There's
wait, you-
more there than Austin in
perfect
in
30
the
Kurt
regard.
Angle, though, so, all right.
I mean, you have Austin in WCW, whatever. You
Well,
have
this would
Austin
be
in
cool 'cause we're
ECW,
gonna-
and
we're
then
gonna come
Austin.
So you
Kyle.
left out Chris Jericho. Obviously,
I
you
did.
left out Bret Hart because
surprised
you're
I
a
thought
prick.
Chris
You did it
Jericho
on
was on your
purpose. But that's okay, Chris. You're still my friend.
I thought we were gonna.
I won't hurt you.
And we're still gonna bring
Yet.
this list into a comprehensive top 10
We
break
are.
room.
And that's going to be next week's
Okay.
fight. So
Yeah.
get ready for that. Chat.
Yeah, gear up for
heated
how we
convers-
list these
Chat,
10.
hit us
Having
up before
opinions-
next week happens.
No,
throw
no,
out
no.
your top
But we
10.
started,
Who
but
was closest
it
to
was
what you
openly
would
stated.
be? Give me. Any of you have William Regal on your list?
It was
I'd
going
like
to be
hear
an
that.
objective.
Actually, Tricky Ricky
objective.
did drop a list of 10.
Let me hear Tricky
Tricky
Ricky's
Ricky's
list.
got a list.
Oh, let's
Let's
go.
go.
Let's
Let me-
We
go.
got,
Bring it on.
a bunch of comments
Let me
on
hear this.
everything. that we
Let's go to chat. Let's segue to chat.
So
'cause
Tricky Ricky lists Macho Man at 10, Dusty Rhodes at 9.
Great choice.
Ricky the Steamboat.
Ricky Dragon Steamboat.
Steamboat at 8. 7 is Chris Benoit.
Wow.
6 is Hogan.
Okay.
5 is The Rock.
Okay.
4 is Bret Hart.
Okay.
3 is The Undertaker.
Okay.
2 is Austin. 1 is Ric Flair.
See, now let me
It's a
mention,
great
he left
list,
Shawn
Tricky
Michaels
Ricky.
off the
That's a
list, and you did
respectable
too.
list.
Should I string you up on the cross? You fuckers?
Tricky Ricky also can't stand Shawn Michaels. That's
Yeah,
why he
I know he
watches the
can't.
pod. Love you, Tricky Ricky. That's a great
From
list.
the Dungeon Podcast said, "Sweet, you're crazy, William Regan. No way, top 10." And he said that you love getting heat.
Does.
He says Rick is number 8. No way. He says, "What the fuck? No, Hulk is not over Rick." Hells popped in. What's up, Hells?
Yo.
Triple H is bland from
Thank
the Dungeon
you.
Podcast.
Thank you, dude.
Triple H
D-Rot,
was
let
hated.
him know, D-Rot, please.
Triple H,
From
was
the
he
Dungeon
bland when he was in
Podcast said
DX?
Sweet equals heat.
Was he bland in DX?
He's a great wrestler. He's not top 10. That's what number 11,
That's-
12, and
that's
13
Thanks
is
from the
for.
Dungeon. He said that the show rocks. You rock. And Tricky Ricky said you just made the list.
That's a Jericho.
And
reference.
Adam,
list.
Adam said Wrestling Machine Kurt Angle is arguably one of my favorite times in wrestling.
Kurt Angle did a lot of good shit in
Sure.
TNA. Nobody really watched
He
it.
did, he did,
but
he did.
Kurt Angle's
No,
career.
I love Kurt Angle, and I think
We all
he's
love
great.
Kurt
But
Angle.
number
#1 all time.
Was he
number
on your
one?
list?
No,
Kurt Angle wasn't on your list.
he
Shawn
wasn't on my
your
list.
list.
I had a solid list.
Which,
though.
I string you guys up. As far as I'm concerned, man, William Regal, like again, having rewatched all the Attitude Era,
Chat,
constantly.
the difference is Shawn
entertaining.
Michaels was on my list because it was objective and I was going based off an all-time list, but Bret Hart wasn't on Chris's list. So this goes back to like the podcast that you did with
In
If we're
all-
the
talking
Dungeon,
all-time,
all
where you
honesty-
purposely missed Bret Hart's autograph signing because you're a piece of shit.
That wasn't the case.
if
In
we-
all honesty, I could drop Regal out of there and put Bret Hart in
Oh,
there.
no,
But I
we're not
wanted
gonna
to do this
that.
intentionally
We're not doing
because
that.
William Regal, no, I wanted
Oh,
to.
yeah.
That's the thing. I feel like William Regal's
Honorable
overlooked, though.
mention. That's what that's for.
He's an honorable mention, and
He
Bret
is.
Hart's somewhere in there, of
you
course.
go.
You, know,
All right.
you son of a bitch.
All right. So next
I mean,
week
if
we're
you
gonna.
speak like technical wrestlers, though.
Well, Bret Hart's #1 in technical wrestling. There's nobody even come close to
Kurt
him.
Angle's.
Even Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle's.
Kurt
a
Angle
better
would be
wrestler.
#2 on my list.
Kurt Angle's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a better wrestler. He
not-
took to it
better
without
wrestler
any
in
training.
collegiate wrestling, but not in the professional
But
wrestling.
he didn't
aspect.
have his father.
Ask Kurt Angle who's better, him or Bret.
Well, he'd be humble and probably say Bret.
Thank you.
But Kurt Angle's a
You know
better
who's-
wrestler.
you know
He
who's-
wasn't trained
Who's
by
Kurt
his
Angle's
father.
most wanted wrestler to wrestle?
He wants to wrestle Bret Hart.
Thank you.
For sure. But Kurt Angle's a better wrestler than
And
Bret Hart.
kudos to Tricky Ricky
Has
for
Bret Hart
dropping-
ever done a moonsault off the top rope or off a fucking
That's
top
not
of a cage?
That's an athleticism thing. Bret Hart wouldn't do stuff that's unrealistic in a real fight. In a real fight, you wouldn't go on the top rope and jump backwards on somebody.
But it's not like
You're missing the mentality of how someone
then
wrestles.
by that logic, Jeff Hardy should have never existed. Fucking,
I wouldn't put Jeff Hardy in
Macho
the top
Man
10.
doing the elbow drop shouldn't be a thing.
Right, but I'm saying there's everybody has a different philosophy around professional wrestling. Some like the hard-hitting, realistic, make it look like a fight, simulated, and some like the theatrics of it and the moonsaults and the hot spots and the flippy moves. You know, that's all
Right,
professional
but that's
wrestling
part of
is.
in-ring work.
Today's professional wrestling is all flippy moves. It is.
It is.
No one can
And it's-
execute moves like Bret Hart, make it look real, and execute and really like pound somebody but not hurt them. That's the art in professional wrestling, is you do it full contact, you make it look as real as possible, but you do not hurt the other opponent. That's an art and that's a skill, and not everybody has that skill. Real quick, I just wanted to shout out Tricky Ricky for mentioning Chris Benoit. Aside from, the later stuff that he did, what we're not going to talk about here, but in the ring when the bell rang, Chris Benoit would be a 10 for me, for sure.
Sure.
And he is
his,
on my
his
top
mic
50
work,
list.
though, is not...
No, he's a
he
2
doesn't
in the
regist-
mic.
Yeah, he didn't
He's a
have
2
really
in the
much on
mic, he's a
at all.
6 in look, and he's a 10 in wrestling. That's why he wouldn't make a top 10 list.
I'd
I
give
agree.
him more on the look because he had the fucking missing tooth, the toothless
All right,
aggression.
so 7 at top. Still not making a top 10 list.
No, he had a generic look.
Generic look.
But he was a great wrestler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, moving
Mr.
on.
Perfect was also
We got
mentioned.
some cards on the table, sweet.
Yeah, well, actually, before we get into the cards, we do want to mention, too, finally,
Oh, here it is.
say the
Sarge, the elusive brown
There it
suit,
is.
Shawn Michaels here. Go ahead.
brown
make this shit-
suit.
Yeah, 'cause
Rob,
he's
why
a
is he
piece
in a
of
brown
shit, right?
suit?
Because he's a piece of shit.
He's in a brown suit because he was commissioner at this time. He wasn't wrestling for a little while. And this is one of the toys from my childhood.
Well, I had that toy. He's got the briefcase with the paperwork.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
why I
cowboy
wanted
hat,
the briefcase.
Phone?
Yeah.
A payphone, the fucking cell phone.
They gave you a lot of accessories with those figures. Really did.
A big part of these toys, playing with
Who's
them
on
as a
the
kid,
back? Let me
was
see.
the accessories.
I would lose them.
I had that Stone Cold with the CD rack. There's,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of good ones. But
You know what I always
the
did with
lamp.
accessories though? It's kind of funny, but you know, like the baby wipes boxes and shit. We used to put like all the weapons and stuff in those, and that's how we
you
would
put
always.
in.
Or
Yeah.
like your mom's like tin can for the sewing kit.
Oh yeah, the
I had a
Danish
big
cookie
rubber
tins.
Danish cookie tins. Yeah.
Actually,
I had a big Rubbermaid
I
bin
see
that
a
I...
name on here that makes me think, oh wow, he didn't make the list. Ken Shamrock.
Not
Ken
top
Shamrock
10.
wouldn't make the list because he
true.
wasn't there long enough.
probably wouldn't even
He
put
would
him
have
top
been a
50.
star. Ken Shamrock would have
He was a
definitely been a
star. I remember
champion.
when
Ken Shamrock was
Shamrock would
Kurt
come
Angle
out.
before Kurt Angle was Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he actually, Kurt Angle called him and asked him if it was cool to take the ankle lock, and he
Sure.
said yes.
Oh no shit! Is
Yeah.
that how that? Okay.
Because he's legit.
Legit.
But yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely one of the childhood
Spirit
toys. I
time.
don't really think I'm missing. I think I've settled all my nostalgia now. I've gotten everything that I
You
really
did it
wanted.
just in time because it looks like Mitch is moving to Ohio.
He is
Exactly.
moving.
Yeah,
I knew he
so-
opened that store and it was like
Yeah.
1 foot out.
Yeah,
Ah, man.
so
I mean, he's
Rob-
gonna
Let him
keep
go.
the Long Island store because he has someone to run it for
Rob
him.
got me on a
that's great.
FaceTime call, and literally every toy that I was
What'd you
looking
pay
for
that,
was
if you don't
there.
mind me asking.
He threw it in here, dude. It was a giant bulk price. The more
He
I
bought a whole bulk thing and
got
ended
the
Is that
up
when you
ring.
got the raw ring too and all that?
yeah, but he didn't have this in yet.
So I just had to wait
you
for
bought
it.
that
It's a long
back
time
It took me
coming.
a long time
Shawn
before I was able
Michaels
to
toy.
get
You're,
it.
you're not going to open that, right?
Moving on. No, I'm not opening that.
I
Rob,
also
Rob
ended up
got-
getting a Hasbro ring, the classic blue mold,
Yeah.
with the ropes
Red, white,
and
and blue
everything.
ropes.
Yeah.
That's cool, but tell him the most important thing that you just got.
What's
Because
that?
Hasbro Pulse sold out.
Oh yeah, so this is I lucked out today. I ended up getting the email from Hasbro Pulse that they ended up redropping the pre-order for Sergeant Slaughter. And what I didn't spring on because I really don't have the money to keep wasting on this line. They did a pre-order for the Dr. Mindbender that was also dropped at San Diego Comic-Con, which is another G.I. Joe figure. But I'm super stoked. I'm going to get my Sergeant Slaughter because I was really bummed
That's one
out
of the
that I wasn't
coolest
able to
Sarge
get it.
figures of
That
all
one
time.
looks great.
And he
I
comes
really
with a
get it.
small figure of
Yeah.
Sergeant
The
Slaughter
mini on
carded,
card.
which is pretty awesome. It's more akin to like the commercials that he used to do for GI Joe. He would be like a
sure.
real guy telling him, buy these toys, and
It's great for him.
He was
and-
iconic in the '80s, which it's kind of crazy that I wasn't around for that time, being such a big Sarge fan. But
It's great. I guess he must. I don't know what the deal has been, but did he have an issue with rights? Because I feel like this.
yeah,
is,
so Vince he owns the name Sergeant Slaughter.
he does.
He does, but
Probably one of the few.
he signed a contract with Vince McMahon for long-term contract.
Legends deal.
And
Okay.
basically
Yeah, okay.
what happens with that is you're not allowed to go and do your own shit.
Yeah.
I remember talking with Sarge back in like 2013.
Yes.
That like they approached him that they wanted him to be like a drill sergeant for like a Wii exercise game. He had to turn it down. Like there was a bunch of things that he wasn't able to do over the years.
Depends
for
on
a
how
very
you sign the
short
contract
window.
and how
they-
you negotiate too.
Listen,
because
you need health benefits. You need health benefits. and
There
that's
was a
probably-
short window where he was able to do some GI Joe stuff. I want to probably around that time, probably around 2013 or earlier than that.
So he was locked
he was
up.
able to get like a 3 3/4 inch Sergeant Slaughter figure on the card, like the classic card look.
So he was frozen more or less.
He
but
was
now,
frozen, but
G.I.
now it
Joe-
seems like he's more open to. I guess he signed a new contract with Hasbro, and they're going to put out that Sergeant Slaughter figure. What I'm really hoping
Fucking
for,
smart, dude.
I don't know if they will, but I really hope that they come out with a Sergeant Slaughter figure that looks like the original Mail Away with the GI Joe logo down the side, the black with the USA, and because that's iconic
Jack
to me.
Specific made a figure that looked like that. You have it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have
That
the
was
GI
the
Joe.
Comic Con LJN exclusive. It does have the GI Joe down the pants.
What are you talking about?
The figure that Mattel made that was a Comic Con exclusive. It came in like the LJN style box.
Uh-huh.
That has GI Joe like USA down the stripes.
Does it?
Doesn't say GI Joe, but it has a flag and it says USA.
No, I want GI Joe.
All right.
I want.
Well, it's
G.I.
gotta be Hasbro that makes it because Mattel won't.
Oh,
put that on
obviously,
it.
but
Yeah.
Hasbro has the
Sure.
multi-year deal with Sergeant
Sure.
Slaughter. So, and they also dropped a Serpentor figure. They previewed that. That looks pretty cool, and he comes with his golden chariot and stuff. So, that's some cool stuff. That's
Before we
coming up.
start these cards, and while we're still kind of on wrestling, I just acknowledge a couple of more comments here. From the Dungeon Mention, Mr. Perfect.
Great,
Adam
great.
A.K. said, I can't come up with a top 10, but off the top of my head, I can't help but think I would have Foley and Roddy Piper on there.
Yeah,
I had that.
Mr. Perfect is top 20 in my list.
Hell's, friend of the show, puts, I'll read off the whole list because he has everybody here. Number 10, RVD, who actually...
That's a great choice. Would make a top 20
he
list
replaced
for
my
sure.
William Regal, I guess.
No,
9,
William
Shamrock.
Regal's on there. That's it.
Shamrock wasn't there long enough, unfortunately. 8, Brett. 7, Guerrero. Eddie
Guerrero's
Guerrero.
a great
Brett
choice.
must be on that
Guerrero's
list because Joe fucking likes Brett. Nobody else
I
does, but
said
they're doing it
above
in
Shawn.
capitulating to
You're
fucking.
definitely capitulating. Angle 7, Flair 6, Taker 5, Triple
I
H
just don't care
4,
enough to do it.
Austin. Oh, what am I doing? I fucked it up here. How's this number here? 1 Rock, 2 Austin, 3 Triple H, 4 Taker, 5 Flair, 6 Angle, 7 Guerrero, 8 Brett, 9 Shamrock, 10 RVD.
No Hulk Hogan, huh?
And then he said
You can
Cena
tell the
honorable
generation.
mention along with Shane McMahon. All right, let's move on from this topic though to what's next. And we have some stuff here from Rip and Ship. Right,
That's a lot
Rob?
of fucking
Yes, we
cards.
do.
We're going to be here for
So-
3 hours
Yeah,
opening
what's
these
going
fucking
on
things.
We're gonna do a quick rip open where we only look at the accessories, but we're gonna talk about Rip and Ship a little bit.
Yep, they're the official sponsor
Yeah.
of the Break Room podcast. They're
I actually get to
generous
play with
enough
some
to
of their stuff
donate
today.
their cards to us. This one we get to keep. This one is my buddy Joe's, but this is a really cool exclusive Elite Trainer box. It's really hard to get these. You have to order these basically as like one of the stores and
Yeah,
stuff.
he was telling me you have to order it from their store.
We have 2 of them?
We only
No,
have one.
it's
of
the
these.
What
one.
do you have over there?
I have the one we've been opening, the Elite Trainer box. I'm still trying to get that fucking Mewtwo in front
So
of
that's
the
already
city.
been open? Those are already...
No, this hasn't been open, but I'm
Oh,
gonna
we
rip
have
them
all that to
open.
open
We're
too?
actually
I'm gonna rip them
opening.
quick.
Jesus
But
Christ.
let's. What about that tin? We've been waiting
So,
on that tin
I'm just
for
taking the
longest.
plastic off of this one. I've been waiting on this tin for a while because Chris made me wait.
That's right.
And hold on, let me
Gave it to us, Rob. You got enough to. You got. Rob is
Hold
the
on.
guy. Every pack he opens, he gets something fucking good. You know,
hold
and
on.
then you
Something
get
good like
shit.
money-wise? These things worth a lot of money?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, you know, you
40,
can sell
50
for
bucks,
a little
cards,
bit.
some cards.
So
They're
we
brand
definitely.
new though. It's like a new
I'll
series.
let Joe
so
know
this
we're
is
opening
definitely
the packs now. This is the first one. This is
Why
the
is this
Snorlax
fucking-
box set.
Yeah, move
which
that.
is
Move
my-
that box out of the way. There you go.
My spirit animal. You get a guaranteed holographic Snorlax right
Nice
in the front
holographic.
there.
That's cool.
We also got a little Pikachu with a gift, which is pretty neat.
Oh, sick. Let me get that.
Pikachu's
How
my
many
favorite.
cards are in there?
All right, so let's
Gets the
see.
Snorlax.
We don't get too
Jesus.
many packs in this one. Let me see.
just trying to put the time up on the TV.
All right, since
9:30.
Chris, you're the
It's
one that's into
9:30?
Pokemon, I'm gonna give you the other 2 packs.
I know as
These
much about
first two.
Pokemon as Chris Sweet does about Lord of the Rings.
And wrestling.
That's not me this time, so
Yeah.
fucking
No,
look
he's
at
asking
me.
for it now. So.
You got some cream for that burn?
Even if
way.
I know nothing,
There's
I will
no way
consistently
you
give
put
it to
Brett
him
above
every
Shawn.
fucking day. Just
You wanna
out of
open one?
spite,
Oh, yeah.
just like he
All right.
says.
I used to collect basketball and baseball and football cards.
All right, so the
all
way
my
you're
childhood.
supposed to open these
I
is
know how to
once you
open
open it.
Okay.
No, look.
Mewtwo
You
and
take
Sylveon.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
and you just put them to the bottom, and then you flip them over, and you should start with an energy card. So you put the energy card to the side.
So this goes to the side because it's a
Yeah, that
sticker
goes
card.
to the side. You take the top 4 and put them to the bottom, just like that.
All right.
Exactly.
Mewtwo and Sylveon.
So we got Ivysaur, Unpheasant, Camerupt,
Just the hollows.
Raticate, Tranquil.
How do I know if it's a hollow? These all
Larvitar.
have shine on them.
It'll, not all of
The
them.
That
last
would be
two.
good if they did.
I mean, I
Just
have
the
3 in a
last
row
two.
have shine on them.
Looks like
I
I
think
got
that's the 3
Camerupt
in the
and
pack that are-
Articuno.
The way he had you move the cards, the
So
hollows.
it looks like your holographic is Meltan and Tyranitar, which is pretty nice.
All right.
Cool.
So ones we've
You know,
gotten
we've
so far.
gotten these already. You know,
But that's
nothing-
how it goes
nothing
when you
really
open
special.
400 packs. You
But
know?
this one is going to be off the hook, and we
Yeah.
may have to make sure that we separate our cards. What holographics did you guys end up?
I
getting?
got we got Wimpod, another Lapras, Sylveon, and regular Mewtwo
okay
that we've
So,
gotten.
I mean, it's
Hey, if this would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
nice
keep them on
if
the
we
top.
didn't already open 4,000 cards. That's the only
I
reason
know,
why we're like,
I know.
eh. But this is definitely a solid
we've
deck.
become jaded with some of the cards that
It's like if you don't get a fucking the top card, it's
all right.
All right, this will be
then
the
help me
base.
rip
that
these
up there.
open.
Now, this.
There's supposed to be more here.
Here's the book. It gives you kind of like a guide of what can be in
So
here.
for context, how much would that cost retail if someone were to buy that?
50 a hit, right?
I believe they retail for $60, right? These Elite Trainer
$60 a
box?
box?
The Elite Trainer box, at
Elite
least. This
Trainer
one's about
box is
20
$55
bucks.
That's not
bucks
bad.
with tax.
No, they're not horrible. All right, so now we gotta pull this thing out,
Bong, bong, bong.
and
Gotta fucking catch 'em all.
So yeah.
Oh,
you
wow, they
chuck
even
the
have-
top card.
they
1,
have
2,
these
3,
metal
4.
tokens, which the ones that normally come are plastic. These ones are
Yeah.
metal. It also
Sick.
has metal die. They got these cool, different buffers, which you can see here. Chris, notice these are different.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's
these are
showing
cool.
me the dividers.
This is the Mewtwo it comes with.
Yeah, the promotional. Give that to Joe. He's the only one that doesn't have one at this point.
Well, this is Joe's pack, so I don't want to give anything
That's
away.
true.
But, all right, we'll get this to the
Charmander,
side. Put this over there.
Charizard.
Thanks. And we'll put this on here.
Got Charizard,
Mm-hmm.
Charmeleon, Charmander.
Charmeleon.
All holographics.
Wartortle.
We got Charizard, Charmeleon, and Charmander, all holographic.
How many packs in a box? 10?
10 in this one. Probably 10 in all of them, right?
So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Keep the
6,
holographics
7,
together.
8,
That's
9,
really the exact same.
10, 11,
Give
12.
me 6.
So
It's 3 altogether.
you get 3. I get 3. And you guys disperse 3 amongst yourselves. These are the
Oh,
packs.
what?
I don't
Don't
want
they
to
have
mix
their own
them
box?
with Joe's. Yeah, we
Oh,
got our own
alright, so
box
then,
over
yeah,
here.
that's
There's a
right.
fucking box over there.
All right, so here's 3 more.
We're ripping 5 and 5.
I got 3. So Joe and I are going to be opening the exclusive pack. Let's see.
Oh, no, it's Pikachu. Pikachu, there you go.
This is the first pack of the exclusive. 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah. Can you buy these online at ribbonship.com?
Yes, you can. Pokestop, Slowbro, Candela, Bibarrel, Magikarp, Meltan, Apom, Charmander.
Another Pikachu.
It looks like,
Who's that?
oh shit,
Oh.
got a Charizard and a Magikarp.
Gyarados has always been one of my favorites.
So
Was that
I
you got
pulled
one
a
you got?
Charizard and
Ooh, that's a different
Magikarp.
Charizard.
Yeah,
I haven't
so
seen that one before.
this one's flying over the city, so this is the exclusive one. I think I pulled the good one.
Wow, yeah. Let me
What
put
is
the
this?
camera on that. Show that. It's
So that's a V-Star card. So yeah, this is
like an energy card. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that Charizard yet.
I might have to steal this one.
I'll hand these to you because I don't know shit about
So
them.
that's Gyarados, but this is a different Gyarados. So you'll see.
Oh,
that
I
these
love
are,
Gyarados. Is that the one that you got?
That's a
Oh,
different.
yeah, we
one.
got that one.
And we got a
Love
Wartortle, so that's pretty cool. Man, I wish this was our pack now. So, watch me pull that like insane Mewtwo.
That's all I'm really hoping for at this point. I got like Slay King, Moltres, Bulbasaur, 2 Slay Kings, Golisopod, Zapdos, Wimpod, Spinarak, Gyarados, Pikachu. Where's the good one?
Blissey and Articuno.
That's pretty packed there. Yeah, we got Vin pulled 2 Articunos
Oh,
and
looks
one.
like we got another. Oh shit! You got Radiant Charizard.
Nice.
So here's a Radiant Charizard and another Snorlax. Radiant Charizard is a really cool card. I've got 2 of them. Chris has got 2 of them.
Yeah. That one was going
nice
for a good
card.
amount. All right.
They're probably worthless now that I own them too.
Yeah, everyone's. Well, but people
just
aren't
keeps
getting these
going down.
boxes. Yeah, people aren't getting these boxes like we are.
I'm enjoying the shit out of these.
I
I am
love
too.
opening up cards regardless of whether I know what the hell this shit is. Just it takes me back to like comic book days. You go in the comic book store with $10 and you hope you get that, Shaquille O'Neal rookie or that, Brett Favre rookie
Kobe.
card,
Yeah.
back in the day.
Brett Favre.
I got a
Favre.
holographic Snorlax here.
Barbara.
Want to show those off?
Gabriel.
Looks like we got Venusaur and
Or
Ariados.
is that it?
No, it's-
And Raticate and
Oh,
Moltres.
you got all these guys over here.
I basically lived in a comic book
these are
store
all
the
open,
entire
or they're-
time I was a teenager.
Yeah.
My first
shit,
job was
okay.
at a comic book store.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you
13
pull
years
hollows
old.
out,
I
or-
knew so much about
Pull hollows
basketball
out,
cards and
collar.
comics that they hired me just to be behind the counter and talk up to
Put yours
customers
away
and
all
shit.
nice. I
That's
like
cool.
fucking just.
I loved it. But
So
this wasn't
nothing
around
good
when
out
I
of
was
mine.
a kid. There was no Pokemon.
No, this came out in
got fucked.
'96.
Yeah, it was-
I got nothing over here.
You got nothing?
Yeah, nothing. Not well.
The
It would be
universe
something, but-
unfolds
Hold on
as
one
it
second.
should.
Yeah.
Chris gets fucked. Perfect.
Looks like
Vin's
Joe's
upset
next
'cause
pack
I
has an
fucking said the
Articuno and a
Bret Hart thing.
Wimbot.
Belittling me over the fucking
come on.
my lack of wrestling
Come
knowledge.
on.
Like I give a fuck.
I'm not belittling you of your knowledge.
Get him. Get him.
I'm saying you definitely.
You don't know
shit.
enough. Shut up. You don't know enough.
You have
You
to
haven't
watch.
watched it long enough. I can't.
You have to watch the Peacock app.
So I pulled a Dragonite, which is
Ooh,
I'll
pretty
watch
cool.
all the
Dragon
fucking
there.
shit. I'll watch it all in spite.
And I got another
There you
Yeah, I'll
go.
watch it. I'll
Then
be
that's
like,
motivation.
look.
And that's good.
That's
Chris
gotta be a
doesn't
hot
know what he's
card.
talking about. I said that before I watched any of this shit.
These two?
I never said
I
that.
give my due
Oh,
respect
this is
to Shawn
cute. So
Michaels
it's
every
got the
time.
Pikachu with the hat
Oh, that one's a good one.
and
I
Slay
got that.
King V.
That's a cool looking card.
Slay King.
See, that was always my favorite part with Pokemon. It was the art. It was like the art style and
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah,
they would make them
you
look
could see how
fucking
this
pretty
shit's
badass.
addicting.
I think
kids,
that's half
man.
the appeal with
I-
like magic cards
You know
too.
what?
You know,
Also,
just-
the thing is, it takes a certain amount of concentration and like dedication. And I feel like my friends back then, I don't think they would have gave a fuck to do any of this. You know what I mean? Like,
I still don't know how to play the Pokemon game. That this
and
is
now
supposed
it's
to
funny
be.
that you left. You know where you'll see whatever adults play Dungeons and Dragons, and I feel like that's when you're gonna get the best experience because everybody knows what they're doing and they're into it and they're willing to like engage in it. Whereas when I was a kid, nah, no way.
Golisopod. I got the regular hollow and the reverse hollow.
I think I got the same card you just did.
Yeah, it feels like you got a complete collection
and
when you get.
Camerupt you got as
Oh,
well, which I already
151.
pulled.
All right.
All right, so we got one more pack for Joe's.
The Radiant
exclusive
Charizard's
box
definitely
set.
the big win there.
That's a big win.
You're welcome.
The Dragonite might be good too.
What's that card go
The
for?
alternative Gyarados and
Radiant
the Char-
Charizard?
The regular Charizard flying over the city too.
Yeah,
That was
that
a good
was
one.
definitely a rare one. It was saying like when I was looking it up, it was saying like $40-$50. Now I think Joe said it went down to like 10 or something like that. But
Yeah, you
become a-
gotta.
it's become a
My buddy
common.
Eric said, honestly, it's best to sell them in like the first week or two.
Sure,
Like,
because
you buy them,
Yeah, flip
fucking
'em.
demands up. Everybody's like, "Oh, I want to have this
Oh
one."
snap!
And rich kid, whoever.
Charmeleon and Charizard. I got another one of those Charizards
Wow.
flying over the city.
Oh, you got the city one.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, you should just turn around and sell that shit now, like the
Yeah.
whatever the duplicates.
you know
that
why
have.
that's probably true is because did you
When the
know
hype
that
is
they
high.
they retire
Oh, no, these are
Pokemon
Joe's,
cards?
so I don't wanna mix
Yes,
them
as they
with
should.
mine.
I feel like
They like
I asked
create
Joe
new
about that.
series
Oh, I mixed
and
them
like the
already.
original decks that we used to have as kids aren't even playable now.
Well,
yes,
we can
their
just figure
their
that
points
out.
are at a skew. It's literally like
You could take all of them.
they
I
would
don't
get
really
killed
care.
in one shot because their hit points are so low compared to the new shit.
All right, do you have that
So
box?
it's all legacy.
box?
The one-
It's all for
I don't know how to
collectability.
Over there, that.
No, this one.
Joe, fucking,
Fuck you talking
you
about?
open yours. I like put mine back in the thing, dude.
So is
when I would
that
open
everything?
football cards and shit,
that?
I would
That's
go
everything,
in.
right?
I have
That's
a collection
everything.
of football
All
cards.
right.
You'd be
We
like,
got
what
through
the
that a lot
fuck?
quicker.
Yeah, we skipped through all the other bullshit and just.
I mean,
You know
we
what?
could
And
sit
it's
there for
nicer
45
too.
fucking minutes.
Because it's like if we were opening like baseball cards or something like that, could you imagine like being one of those players? It's like, oh, I got like fucking, I got this guy who's
I
like,
got
Joe Gallo,
yeah.
who's fucking.
I just unlocked the William Regal. Huh?
Oh God.
that. I'm allowed to take heat for my opinion, but Vin's not.
An opinion is like an asshole. Everybody's
no.
got one.
My
They
opinion
all stink.
is just very generic and observatory. Like, oh hey, I like
But
him.
Vin didn't say his favorite opinion. He said
I
this
just
is
said,
who
hey,
I
this
feel
is-
is the top.
And if it was by the point system, they would have been interchangeable.
Right.
Because I respect Shawn Michaels as well.
Yep.
But I don't know why I'm not allowed to do both things at the same time.
Thank you.
There's a
If-
dichotomy that you
If
say
you
exists.
chose Shawn over Brett, you know you would have heard the same shit from
No,
Joe.
it's funny. I didn't even.
You
think
would have
of
heard
it.
worse
I didn't
from that
even think of that.
motherfucker over there.
But like I said, it was based on like these guys are in the same ballpark to me
So
from
good.
my rating. But again, I'm always honest about what I don't know, and my opinion is, hey, sometimes you just look at somebody and you like them more. There could be that. It could be that easy. Just
That's why
more
the look.
likable.
That's why the look is important.
There's
That's
likability.
part of the look.
You know,
Likability.
I like this person. I don't know why.
Bret Hart
It's-
is way more likable than Shawn Michaels.
And I like Shawn too. I literally I watched his shit. I was like, Listening to his story,
Shawn Michaels would
it's
probably
a
tell you
classic
that.
fucking American story, dude. The guy literally had
He was an
big
army. He
aspirations.
was an army brat.
Grew up,
Yeah.
his dad,
He
know,
got moved
very
around a lot.
disciplined, moved a lot, all that shit.
Sure.
Ended up hooked on, anything that anybody could
Somas.
get hooked on, and
Uppers, downers, screamers, laughers, half a pint of ether.
it's just how
Oh,
it
you big
goes.
fucker.
That's common, man. That's this, and to overcome that, to not die, to not OD
Sure.
and be some kind of fucking, stain.
He's a
or-
success story.
Yes. So I don't know. I'd have to fucking explain
Just-
it. But
yeah,
it's-
you know.
I'm talking to the
You
fucking-
don't.
telling him. Trying to give the guy more credit.
Yeah, William
than
Regal,
I'm
no
getting
problem.
credit for giving him. Constantly in a fucking defensive position
Top
over
10
this shit.
all-time William Regal. There we
I
go.
And
feel-
Joe wants me to go off, but this is something I don't have enough to go off on. I can't really say oh fucking.
I'm not saying go off
Sucker
on
was
the
more
topic.
part of your life than the Heart
It's a
Foundation
matter of
was.
going off on him, not.
He just wants
Nah,
me to go
yeah.
off on Sweet. Me and Sweet always have a differing opinions, but we're never really combative in a.
until the podcast.
But I want to
Until
thank
the
Rip
fucking
and Chip
getting
Arena
shouted
again.
down. Once I start getting shouted down, I'm like, wait a minute.
That's
what's
what
going
the
on there?
people want. That's why they
Everybody
watch.
wants-
They
what you
want,
guys
they
want?
want
You
the
wanna see us
yelling, they
yell at
want
each
the
other?
shouting, they want the heat.
Yeah, Tricky Ricky, we got to add you on Pokemon Go. And you
Oh, yeah.
actually
Oh,
got to
yeah.
open up your gifts because fucking Rob
I
never
opened
opens
them,
his
didn't I?
presents. I got to text you. Say, Rob, open your free present. in
Because I
Pokemon
don't
Go.
fucking remember. Who
I
gives
know.
a shit?
With the
You
Vipers.
can give a present once a day to each of your friends on Pokemon Go.
And it increases your friendship.
Oh,
Right.
If you
guys are in
maximize
that, yeah.
your friendship, you have the ability to like trade more valuable shit.
That's
you
cool.
Let's
have.
maximize our friendship, Rob.
A little bit of art.
They also sometimes get
RPG.
like when you do a trade, the next trade you do, your Pokemon become lucky.
Very
You know,
cool.
like that kind of shit. Like there's like benefits to it, and like you get more out of the gifts that you send. Like you get more Stardust and better drops and stuff. But
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna grab a water.
yeah,
So-
it's fun.
We're coming to the end. We got to wrap this thing up. But
Got a couple of these things
couple
are
more
kinda
things
quick.
I wanted to talk about, and I want to bring us into it before it's 11:30 at night.
Fucking A.
San Diego Comic-Con.
Well, it's not even 10 yet.
I mean, we've been on here. We've been doing this for a minute.
We've been doing it for a minute.
So what did they
San
announce? at
Diego had some really, really insane drops. I
Everything.
mean, we already
I wish I could be
talked
there.
about Sergeant Slaughter. I mentioned Serpentor and Dr. Mindbender, but
Toys.
Mattel went fucking off.
Statues.
The shit
Hasbro.
that they showed off,
Unbelievable.
they had the Sunman figures to
incredible-
come out with He-Man. The Eternia playset that's going to be crowdfunded.
I showed you that.
That's insane. I see. That's one of the holy grails of a Masters of the Universe collector is the Eternia playset. The reason why it's a holy grail is because people didn't fucking have it. It was expensive then, and anybody that did have it probably broke it because it was made of shit. So, like, there was but it was a cool fucking set. I mean, there was like a whole monorail system that went around that you could put a car on. It was like a centerpiece with like a tower with a lion on it, and the mouth opened up like a drawbridge, but it came with two towers on the sides, and one represented Snake Mountain and the other one represented Castle Grayskull. So you can actually set up the other two play sets and make them like extensions of the original two that came out. So they're going to be crowdfunding a version of this play set for the new line that they've been putting out of regular He-Man figures that are like posable. And I can't fucking
What
wait. I
is that
have to.
fucking-
I have to.
over
There's
there?
no way
that
I'm not
fucking
going to buy
He-Man
that.
statue I sent you.
I don't care if it's $500. I have to
What's that?
fucking buy it.
Smirking about over there.
Nothing.
Spit it out.
No, nothing.
But the He-Man line is coming out with a lot of shit. They're announcing some of the Snake Men for the line and all that shit. So that's something to look forward to. I mean, the amount of toy
I could
stuff
never
that
go
dropped.
there. If I was there,
They came out with a Batman and Joker animated series
really wanted
2-pack.
that,
I
too.
wanted to get that. See, Joe
I-
Joe has some kind of connection that said that he was a vendor and was going to be able to get all this shit.
Where's my
I
no
haven't
holds
heard
barred
any
2-pack, man?
any news from the guy.
Rob,
so-
take your glasses off and give us a Zeus. So that's the
another
one
reference.
thing I wanted from the San Diego exclusives. It was a Mattel Creations 2-pack of the No Holds Barred movie that Hulk
Can
Hogan
I
was
say
in.
that Mattel Creations comes out with some awesome stuff, but they never fucking have enough inventory
Is it
because
kinda
shit
like a
always
Hasbro?
sells
No,
out.
it's
into
not
the
about
Hasbro.
the inventory.
Pulse
The
thing?
fucking bots get on there
Yeah,
and they
that's
fucking
everything.
eat up all the
Pieces of
fucking
shit.
inventory, and then they flip
in
it for triple.
seconds. In
Pieces of
fucking
shit.
seconds. It's always
That
Mattel.
fucking Mattel fucking No Holds Bar Hulk Hogan Zeus 2-pack sold out in 3 minutes. And I was on the line, and I was like, oh, you're next in line. You have 1 minute left.
You can't beat
and
a
it came
computer.
up to 1 minute, and it
Yeah,
said
you can't
sold
beat a
out.
computer.
And
Yeah.
I got
It's over.
fucked on it.
Every time.
You know,
Piece
did
of
you
shit.
go back in like maybe an hour later? Because I got
No,
fucked.
it's sold
listen.
out. They tweeted about it.
No,
They,
listen. What happened was one time with the same website, they came out with Wondar, the Wonder Bread He-Man figure, and it sold out in seconds. I couldn't get it. So an hour later, I just jumped on the site and it was fucking there, add to cart. So I fucking did, and I got it somehow.
How lucky.
So we'll see.
mean-
We'll see. You know,
From what I was seeing, there's just an endless amount of cool fucking stuff.
This was probably built up because they missed
3
a couple of
years.
years, so they had some fire this year for sure.
Absolutely.
And
then
toys wasn't
they
the
have
only
more
thing that
time
they
to
had.
prepare
No.
for this one. You know, it's not like
Marvel-
incremental upgrades.
The
It's-
Rock was at Comic-Con this year.
The
I
Rock.
mean, fuck.
Jesus, bro, that fucking. I can't wait till that comes out so we can stop hearing about it. He is the best salesman ever.
He is.
Phil agrees. If Phil is out there watching, it's like relentless. Whether because he literally cuts.
But you know what? His
promos.
mic skills aren't as good as Kurt Angle's.
He literally cut a promo for the fact that he was at Comic-Con for Black Adam and then popped the Zoa. You know what I mean? He is.
I put him equal
Pour a
to
little
Kurt Angle.
Terramana in the Zoa. you know.
I swear, there's no better salesman. That guy is so engaged in the products that he's representing. It's you'd be
He's
lucky to
fucking-
have
he's got
it.
his claws
But
and
it's
everything.
on the receiving end because I follow him everywhere. I follow
He's
him on
done
all
with
his shit.
Jungle, so now he's a superhero.
It's like
That's it.
Jesus Christ, Rock. But we get it. You know, Black Adam's coming and you're jacked. Just come out with the fucking movie already.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the next
But-
president. It's gonna
And
be-
he's in the DC one. He plays Superman's dog. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's
Crypto
an
the
animated
Superdog,
movie,
I did
but whatever.
I did
So
see that.
Super Pets.
Marvel is
Super
the
Pets.
big headliner, though. The biggest news that come out of
ahead,
Comic-Con
Vin.
is clearly Marvel.
Go
and
ahead,
it's
Vin.
my
Talk
fucking
about
field. Let's
stuff
go.
that you don't know nothing about this.
Yeah, you don't
Vin.
know
You always
shit,
started
Chris.
watching
You won't
it.
watch it. You won't
I know.
watch it when I recommend
And
it.
I'm-
And you
it's
fucking
true.
talk out of turn whenever you rank it, so shut the fuck up.
True.
Yeah, fuck you. No, the multiverse saga is coming out, so now we're finally hitting the phase that I think fans have been expecting in the post-Endgame, universe. They blew up the multiverse in Loki season 1, and I think myself and fans have been craving. What does that mean? What is the impact? We've seen little hints, little
It means that
tastes.
She-Hulk can still crush my head between her thighs.
Yeah, She-Hulk's coming. Yeah, they made her look good.
Pause.
She always looked good. And you know who else is in there? Daredevil's making the appearance.
Hell
So
yeah.
they're bringing over the
Hell
Netflix
yeah.
series.
And he's getting his
Daredevil.
own show.
He's getting
Hell yeah.
18 episodes of his own.
No mention of the Punisher though.
The Punisher's been rumored. They said they got a deal struck behind the scenes, but he's not part. They don't know what to do with him yet. But they're establishing their street level
John
guys.
Bernthal was a great Punisher.
Fucking
He's
awesome.
fucking great. But he's not
I
better
want
than
the Punisher kept separate.
Tom
from all the
Jane.
other
Tom Jane was a
bullshit.
great Punisher.
Yeah,
not
you know what?
bullshit,
The thing
but-
with the Punisher is, even when he appears in like the Infinity Gauntlet comic. Oh no, I'm sorry. When he appears in Civil War, it's like he's in and he's out. He like makes an impact and then he disappears. He never joins any team.
No.
He's always
He's
not like
representing
He's
a
like
save the
Batman. He
world
sticks
kinda
around
guy.
just long
He's-
enough and then
he's-
fucking bounces.
And that's what's
when
great.
shit's
You need that. I
clean.
think Marvel needs that. They're letting. They talked about Deadpool. Kevin Feige is like letting Ryan Reynolds run with Deadpool. He said it's great to be part of. What did he say? I forgot what he said. Kevin Feige had a funny quote because Deadpool is Ryan Reynolds and vice versa. Like no one could really do it better, I think, than him.
No.
So now though they've announced the final Avengers movies of this upcoming saga.
It's gonna be
so we're
big.
gonna get Kang the Conqueror and in the fullest.
And he's a fucking problem.
He's a big fucking
I don't know
problem.
anything about King the Conqueror.
Imagine
I had
that.
to
He's
learn
Reed Richards, like fucking descendant, and
He's
he's
a-
like fucking insanely like
Yeah, he's like
intelligent.
1,000
he creates
years
like
removed.
technologies, like he lives through times and shit.
He became
like,
a
he's,
pharaoh.
He's in the current Venom comic, and he's like talking to Venom. I'm like, he's like, we've had this discussion already. He's like,
He-
I've lived like a million lifetimes already. It's like, it's
And the
insane.
thing with Kang too, and we've got a taste of it in Loki. He's intelligent. So like the dialogue, the intent, like you should get a real good feel for who this character is beyond just he's the big bad. Even Thanos. Thanos was like the big bad and he was imposing, but he had a psychology. He had really good dialogue that made that character great. That's something that lacks in other villains. But the other thing too, I mean, we are getting after we get Avengers Kang Dynasty, there's going to be Avengers Secret Wars, and that's fucking huge. The only thing though that I'm sitting here as a fan saying, we're not prepared for any of that right now. Like, they announced it, and it's great.
It's a build-up.
100%.
You have to build it up again.
Who are the Avengers right now? Name the fucking Avengers.
We
Nobody
have Captain
can.
America, who is
Who?
Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon,
You know.
Thor, kinda. You know, like, who are they? And I think right now, the next phase, as we go through this phase 5...
I was thinking about that, and it almost feels like because they're not going to have Captain America and Iron Man and Spider-Man, it's like those are the Attitude Era guys.
It's true.
You know,
It's hard.
Those are The Rock, the Austin, Triple H,
An interesting
Mankind,
way of looking at
Undertaker.
it.
And now you have like the guys who are like underneath them, but
It's
they
true.
like them, but they're not as good and they're not
It's
as
true.
like captivating. But you know, now they're just what you have.
I have a counterpoint to that, and I agree, but it's because they did it so well. Who the fuck was Iron Man before before Robert Downey? Like, to most people, Iron Man would have been
Yeah,
Or even
he was
Star
way
Wars.
on the
French.
bottom.
He was French.
Whoever
You know
heard
what
of
I'm
it?
saying?
Yeah.
So, like, they did great, but the other thing that helps them too, now they have the X-Men. Now they have the Fantastic Four. Now they can bring in the next
Yeah.
real peak Marvel comic characters that have been almost clearly missing. They've done a great job operating the Marvel Universe without those huge pieces. And I feel like the whole thing is now building up to Kang is like the current, he's like the upcoming clear and present danger. Doctor Doom. Once you introduce the Fantastic Four, Kang, Secret Wars, it really brings Doctor Doom, Victor Von
Secret
Doom.
Wars better have Galactus in it.
Bro. And
It would be interesting to see which Secret Wars that they follow too,
Right.
because there's the original Secret
I've
Wars
heard
from the
it's
80s.
the second one. It's not the first one, and
Not
I know
gonna get
that's
the symbiote
disappointing for
Spider-Man in
some.
that.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
because I mean the
that's-
Beyonder that was
Yes.
that was
This
you
is
know,
called
Prime
the
Doctor
multi.
Doom being the fucking Doctor Doom. I mean, he takes the fucking like
Cosmic
the
Cube.
cosmic cube from the Beyonder and like he
Beyonder.
subjects them all to his power.
And you know how they do it. They take the best of things, and they, it's
that
not
was a
gonna
great
be-
story because the only way they were able to beat Doctor Doom was by planting a seed of doubt. And because he could
Yes.
control reality, his thoughts became reality, and then like all the
He undid
ways
everything.
of doing, going wrong, actually happened. Like Colossus survived,
And then Captain
revived
America,
this
I think,
guy, and then yeah,
So the thing with this one is that it's the multiverse saga. They've named it. They've stamped it. They've shown multiple versions of characters so far. We've seen a couple of different Doctor Stranges. We've seen a couple of crossover characters like Professor X. So now what it's seemingly going to be is a face-off of our, the MCU Spider-Man versus Tobey Maguire. Like, you're going to actually see that play out because I guess in the comics they're forced to do it. It's like I don't know if Doom has them hostage on another planet or in another reality, but anyway, I'm interested to see how they do it. The one disappointment is with the Secret Wars, the Russo brothers who directed Infinity War and Endgame wanted to do Secret Wars, and Kevin Feige came out and said that the Russo brothers are not directing it, and I was like, it's fucking weird. Like, they just came out. It's not coming out till 2025, and you're already saying like, yeah, these guys aren't directing it. And I was like, I'm surprised they did Infinity War and Endgame so well. What would be the problem with bringing
Probably
them
got
back?
something else going on.
No,
they're
they've
working on.
openly said in recent interviews
I
as of
saw
like
that.
2 weeks ago. They
Yeah,
said,
they said, what
we
we
really
wanna
want to do,
That's our favorite. We really, yeah.
but they want to do the original. And to Rob's point,
Yeah.
there's two
That's the
Secret
one I read.
Wars.
I didn't read the second one.
It's where
I didn't-
the suit appears,
Yep.
Spider-Man's
Yep, symbiote suit.
suit. So it's going to be
Iconic
really
cover.
interesting. They have an insane amount of
I
content.
have it.
It could go one way or the other. You have the comic?
Yeah.
Wow, we got to see that. Come on. They have so much content coming out. You could really fuck it up because you're so awash. But I think the important thing is that they stay focused on the things that impact the overarching story, and then they leave some people down at they call the street level, and you enjoy those stories for what they are, and they're not always building into what the Infinity Saga will be. I'm sorry, what the Multiverse Saga will be.
Yeah.
fucking
Shit.
A. But there's a lot of exciting stuff that got dropped for San Diego. We're looking forward to seeing what's going to come
So
in the
it's
next
2 or
couple
3
of
more
years.
years of content for us to yap and argue about. So
Can't
we
wait,
love
man.
that.
That's what
Speaking
we're
of
here
2
for.
years of content,
We got in right after the
we've
pandemic.
we've been rolling for 2 hours.
Let's
now.
do it.
Yeah, we had some more topics on the list, but what do you think? You want to just call it and save those
I
for
think
next time?
I think we'll save the people's ears and we'll.
Yeah, guys, we've been going
we're
for
gonna
2
wrap it
hours
up.
now. We'll talk more about Grand Theft Auto maybe next week.
That's an hour for Vin, and then we go
Oh, I
into
can't wait.
Game
Me
of
and
Thrones.
Sweet.
That's another hour for you.
There's lots to talk about for
So
that.
we'll lead
House
with
of
that
the
next
Dragon
week for
is
sure.
coming up, so we'll definitely be talking about House of the Dragon more. As,
Well, that's coming up next at the end of
August
August.
21st. Let's go.
It's almost here, so
already rewatched Game
we're all
of
looking
Thrones.
forward for the
GTA 6.
franchise
If you
to
had
be
a
redeemed.
guess, 2024.
2025. If I was going to be
2025?
honest, I saw 2025 on all that Comic-Con shit, and I started to accept that date as the big year.
When do you
all
think
the
it's going to
COVID
drop?
shit and
Early to
everything.
late?
That could be on a new console at that point.
PS5 Pros,
Something
Xbox
like that,
Series
yeah.
XXX.
That's what it'll end up being.
Triple
I
X fucker.
I think worst case scenario. It's going to be longer than we want.
I said
And,
2025 because
yeah.
this year's
What do you
fucking
think
half
Christmas
over.
2024?
It's gonna be 2023. And
Yeah, it's a good
you
point.
know the
I mean-
expectations are so high with that game. You have
They
to
might.
fucking
They're going to
deliver.
probably drop it around Christmas, no matter what.
We've been through it with Rockstar before. When it was GTA fucking even
It's
4,
delayed.
it was kicked and kicked and kicked, and then it was Red Dead and it was kicked and kicked, and we were like, "Are you fucking serious?"
But look at the
And
products
GTA
they're putting
5,
out. You know, it's
You know,
worth the
it's
kick.
worth the
No.
wait. Always.
Always, I would never. I'm
Don't
not the type
cyberpunk
that's on there.
yourself.
Yeah.
I don't make comments on Rockstar shit like, "Where's GTA 6?" We play GTA Online. Chris plays a shitload more than I do, but I'm back in it. They've updated it. They've kept it running.
Ben's the only
It's
one that
gotten-
plays nearly as much as I do, and then Rob's up there too.
You hear that?
But-
Thank you, Chris. So,
Giving you your due,
anyway,
GTA.
we'll talk more about it next week.
Yeah.
Robbie, take us home, baby.
Oh, Sunday.
Thank you, everyone, for
Rob,
tuning
segue
in.
into real quick. We wanted to kind of mention Sunday. We're going to
Might be
do
me and
our technically our 4th episode of the WWE series Rivals on A&E. So
And who's
this
going to
week,
be the rivals this week?
Brock Lesnar and Sweet's all-time favorite, Kurt Angle.
Number
Ooh.
1.
That's
Number
interesting.
1, Kurt Angle.
That's very
Olympic gold
interesting.
medalist. He won with a broken freaking neck.
Both excellent, actual
He
technical
deserves the
wrestlers of the
number
wrestling.
one.
Wrestling
Yeah, so
world.
stay
That's
tuned to
sports
that.
entertainment.
Some of us are going to get together tomorrow night. We might go live on some of our social platforms to give you in-the-moment reactions to SummerSlam. But Sunday we'll be back on a remote to kind of go over Brock versus Kurt.
Can't wait.
So go ahead, Rob, take us home.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Break Room Podcast. If you like our show, please like, comment, subscribe. You guys are as much a part of the show as we are. We always, try to get your opinions live on the show, which is why we love running a live show. Please tell your friends to tune in and, always comment on our videos and let us know what you guys think about the various topics that
William
we talk
Regal.
about week to week. Like William Regal being part of Chris's top 10, which is kind of out of left field, but...
Deserves his due, sunshine.
But this has been the Break Room Podcast. Snoochie Boochies, may the force be with you.